here. Let me make sure it jumps up on the stream. One sec. Okay, here we are. We are back. Sorry about that. Some technical issues. I swear I didn't change a single thing, but we had no audio from Alec. So here we go. We are back. The stream is going to begin. I am here tonight with Alec, resident Druhkari player, new Tau player. Just started playing them here in the TAO, the Transatlantic Open, which is what we are here for tonight. We are finally in the bracket phase after 2 weeks of groups. Um, we have tonight a matchup of Druhkari and Tau. So we have Ryan from Command Point playing the Druhkari, and we have Biranid from YouTube fame playing the Tau. So what are your thoughts on this matchup?
So I think just structurally, I think Ryan has a really tough matchup coming in. When I looked at this map, I said, "There's no way that I'm taking Drukhari to this tournament." There's not a lot of cover. A lot of the deployment zones are far apart. You're not getting a lot of that extra kill more bonus. Man, I think this is going to be a really tough matchup, and this is a matchup. This is a great terrain setup for Tau. There's little cover on the board. You can place your 3 rail rifles within full sight of all the objectives, and then the question you're asking your opponent is, can you hold these objectives if I'm putting 6 rail rifle shots into you that are buffed, sniper, comms, demo, all that. Can you survive and hold enough objectives? Also, I'm swarming you with drones. I think this is. I'm really excited to see what Ryan does with this. I have no idea how I would play this one. I looked through some of the list. It's gonna be tough, but I'm really excited to see it.
It's interesting that you say you looked at this and you thought there's no way I'd play Drukhari, because so many other people looked at this and said,
I
why would I
know,
play
right?
anything other than Drukhari, right? Like, and
Drukhari are easy mode, right?
uh,
That's the new
I
thing.
don't know about easy mode. I just think in this situation they have a lot of things going for them. They have I think the deep strike value out of the Mandrakes is really, really huge. A lot of people have been taking advantage of that. They've got some big guns, kind of similar to the rails, that can do some damage from the backfield and can cover all those objectives, like you were mentioning. Yeah, drones are annoying. I am a Tau player. That is what I started playing the game as. I did not know that drone spam was a thing when I got into the game. I bought Fire Warriors, I bought all this other stuff, and then I was like, oh, all of this is useless. I just need Pathfinders and as many drones as I can get my hands on, right? So that is the thing. Now, interestingly enough, Biranid does have some Crisis on his roster. He's been playing around with those. He thought they might be useful. I think at 100 points, they're even more difficult to play. And as we discussed, as you just mentioned, the drones just do so much work on this board. They cover you, they help your guys survive, they can screen out some of that deep strike, they can hold objectives, they can do so many different things. And I think that the Mandrake negative to hit doesn't really affect them as much because they're always hitting on sixes, anyways, right? And as you said about the rails, you have comms, you have recon, you have sniper tactic, you have so many ways to buff them past that -1 that you can still hit those models. So I think it's an interesting matchup. I think Ryan and Biranid are both very good players here. I think it's going to be interesting. They are getting into it. They are picking their secondaries now. We're just going to take a quick look at the bracket. We got on earlier to be able to talk about the bracket, and then we were quickly pushed off of it because the audio failed us. So just taking a quick look here. This is quote unquote round one, or the play-in round. Ray J and Academic Chris, the AdMech versus a Stardays matchup, was last night, came to a tie, and Ray J took the win with the tiebreaker, so he will move forward to play Matt Howell in the next round two, which is also being played this week. This is the second play-in round, and this is because of how many groups and how many players we had to begin with, that we had to take the lowest teams and have them do a play-in round for the bracket to work. So now we have Ryan versus Biranid. Whoever wins this moves on to play Micromancer and his Astra Militarum. We've had Thousand Suns beat Grey Knights. We've had your Tau beat Grey Knights, so both Grey Knights players are out, and you and Skinner have moved forward. Shane with his Druhkari took out the remaining and singular Eldar or Azeryani player in the bracket. We have a Druhkari mirror match left. We have Gene Colts and Admech, as I mentioned, and a Druhkari Tyranids. Astra Militarum took out the singular Demons player. That looks like that was another tie that must have come down to tiebreakers. So I've either seen some very low scoring or some like ties, or I've seen some huge blowouts. Mind you, that was the group stage, so maybe there was some bad matchups and things like that. Any thoughts on the bracket here that you're looking at it, other than the fact that there's so many Drukhari, and then we'll get into the game.
So, thoughts on the bracket? I'm really interested to see. I haven't caught any of Matt's games with Gene Stealer cults, but looking at the, I think he's 4-0 so far. Gene Stealer cults are not known as easy mode and kill team. I really want to see what he's doing with Gene Stealer cults. I think that'll be interesting. There's, like you said, there's a lot of Drukhari. Yeah, like I said earlier, Drukhari are gonna may have a tough time on this map. I'm really interested to see what happens with that. I played Skinner at LVO. He has his Thousand Suns again. That's gonna be an interesting matchup. Whoever comes out of the bracket there, I think this. I'm really looking forward to my game with Shane next week. I think it's going to be very similar to well, at least we have similar rosters as will be on display this game. So I'm taking very careful notes. I hope Ryan shows me all the tricks. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan and Shane have to have been practicing together, so this is a little bit of a view, into the mind of the Command Point boys and the roster and kind of how they're playing it. Okay, let's jump over to the game now. We can see what secondaries we have chosen. So this round, it was rolled before, and everybody will be playing on the exact same map. So that is one thing that these guys kind of, and everybody had going for them, where they could figure out kind of what secondaries they were going to take and this kind of thing before getting into their game, right? Those people that wanted to think about it or put in that extra thought beforehand. Whereas before in the groups, it was just kind of you sat down, you rolled it out, and then you had to make those decisions right in the moment. Do you think that helps or hurts players in these kinds of situations as a tournament player?
Playing the game, I love having to make split second decisions. That's one of the things that I like about this packet format is you can't come in with a completely planned out plan. But as someone who wants to win tournaments, I want to know everything that's happening. I want to know all the terrain. I want to know all the possible secondaries. I want to see the opponent's roster like a week in advance and like stew over it in my mind. So I don't know. I like that there's some randomness in this, and that's I think it's a forcing function to make the game more interesting. And it, so much of playing Kill Team is preparation, and when you can mix things up with people and they don't have that preparation, I think that's when you really see who's taken in so much that they can make those split second decisions. I think it's going to be interesting.
For sure. All right. That is something that we've had a little bit of discussion about. Is some of these games, they take a while because they're on Tabletop Simulator, mind you, but also just it's a little bit more relaxed. Whereas an in-person live tournament, it's just sit down, pull out your models, get your secondaries, and go. You don't have that extra time, which I personally like too. Like you were saying, it's enjoyable to kind of move, think on your feet, kind of thing, and get going. So these players, the secondaries were decided ahead of time. The secondaries that they have choices from and we see their choices now. I believe they're revealing their armies. They've decided on what they're going to play, but let's take a quick look at these secondaries. So for Ryan, we have and the Drukhari, we have Engage on all fronts, Bounty Hunter, and Cut Apart. That's pretty much. I wasn't sure what positional he was going to take, but Bounty Hunters and Cut Apart are 100%. I was pretty sure that the Drukhari was going to take those because why wouldn't you, right? You're going to do a lot of damage in melee, and you're going to be able to pick up those bounty tokens. The other option for Killy was Death from Afar, which doesn't really work as well for them. Might work for Tau. Let's take a quick look and see what Biernit has taken. He has Death from Afar, Bounty Hunter, which is surprising to me, and he has Domination. I thought he would have gone two positionals here and gone for the drone spam. He might not have, though. Who knows?
Oh, I wonder if he took domination because he's going to break out one of the crisis suits. So one of the things I love about Baronid is that he's always trying something new. He'll bring something that's just off the wall to the tournament, and he'll see if he can make it work. I think in this one, it's what can I do with a 40 to 50 point crisis suit in a 100 point matchup. If he's taking domination, I wonder if he's going to put his triple 3x airburst, his 2x flamer or something like that. Crisis suit and just say, come at me, bro. What are you going to do about this?
Yeah,
I, we'll
I
see. It's not what I would do here. I take as many drones as I can to screen out the deep strikes. But hey, if I think it'll be an interesting game if Bjorn takes the crisis suit.
yeah. So 100% agreed on the drones versus crisis situation. You may have seen me discuss it many, many, many times on the Discord, on this Discord, on Glasses Discord, just about anywhere anybody on Chris Biernid's podcast, anywhere anybody will let me speak about it. I have spoke about crisis suits and my disdain for them. Obviously, there's some certain areas where I think that they work and matchups that they work in. So it does appear that he is taking them, and he has gone not only Crisis, he has gone all out attempted elite Tau. This is not how Tau works, in my opinion.
Wow.
He has 3 gunners. He has a leader. So he has an ion gunner and 2 rails, ion comms, or no, rail comms, ion sniper, a regular Pathfinder with a rail rifle, and then he has a demo with, I believe it doesn't have it on here, but I believe this is the one with 3 of the airbursting guns, which are the ones that can hit them out of line of sight. Now, this is not a team that I would ever run as a Tau player.
Neither of these are.
Yeah, maybe for fun. I don't know. Oh wow. Okay, so yeah, looking at Ryan's, he's got his Nightfiend leader. He's got veteran Mandrake. He's got an Incubus. He's got the Zealot Klaivex, a combat Acothyst, and then 3 Mandrakes. This is a brutal team, right? This is gonna put some pain down on these Tau, especially you have how many drones? You have a recon drone and 1 shield drone to absorb these attacks. If he does not do damage, heavy damage in turn 1, potentially turn 2, he is going to get absolutely slaughtered in melee in the later rounds.
The Klaivex are they're tough to run against Tau, and I think, but somehow they're also difficult for Tau to defend against, right? If the Klaivex gets up in melee with you, you're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen if you're Tau.
Yep.
But on the other hand, like, can you fall back? Can you see them coming? Can you take them out? They don't have the invuln save that everybody else has. So yeah, it's if Ryan can manage to get the Klaivex and the Incubus into combat, I think he'll. But doing that is really tough. So yeah, we'll and with those mandrakes, he's going to deep strike in. Does Biernid have the drones to screen out the deep strike? If not, is Ryan going to land the drones? Sorry, his mandrakes right on top of the 2 containers, and then charge in turn 2. That's going to be tough for Biernid to defend against.
Yeah, it's going to be brutally tough. This is a Tau team that is coming in at 7 models. The bare minimum I think I have ever played as Tau is like 12 models. Mind you, I've played a lot at 125 over the last year, but even at 100 points, I think I was coming in at 12 or 13. This is the smallest Tau team I have ever seen put on a tournament board. Yeah, this is so they've
We're already seeing the effect of the small team. So Biernit's just put down his first model, and he's put a rail rifle out of cover on an objective because somebody's got to hold that objective, and the people that he has are rail rifles. So he's not doing the traditional, like, I'm just going to hide in the corner and shoot at everybody Tau move. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, there we go. 2 Mandrakes in reserve. This is what we knew was going to happen. This is what has been happening with all these Druhkari teams. I think at minimum they are taking all these players have been taking 3 Mandrakes for Deep Strike, the Mandrake Nightfiend leader, and then some other grouping of models. Correct? And so I think that potentially the reason for this list without the guns on the Drukhari side is that he was assuming that it was going to be drone spam, correct? And so he doesn't want to have these drones run in and potentially keep his melee guys down. And he wants to be able to cut through those drones and kill them, get the points, get onto the objectives, this kind of thing. I don't think he was expecting this sort of list. Otherwise, he might have taken some guns to, because I mean, those D6
He definitely wasn't.
weapons
Well,
those
well,
D6 weapons from Drukhari are
yeah.
huge. Is just what I was gonna say, but
The He didn't take engage on all fronts, which, if you're a Drukhari player, you can deep strike the Mandrakes. That's an easy thing. He had to have been thinking, well, maybe Burden's going to come out with a bunch of drones and screen me out. But now, I don't know that Biernid has the models to screen him out like that. So yeah, he's going to deep strike all the Mandrakes in, and that's going to be yeah,
yeah,
going to get some points on.
yeah, he did take the engage on all fronts, so he's gonna be able to get those Mandrakes in. He's also
Oh,
got,
sorry, yes.
yeah, he's got Bounty Hunter and Cut Apart, so he's gone He is positional to the point that he's going to drop those. He can keep, and he has enough mandrakes, right? When you look at the models that he has available to him, he has the mandrakes can drop in and help get him that engage on all fronts, which, mind you, can be gotten in the center too, where domination is going to be trying to be held by Beernid and his Tau. And the thing is, like domination, I assume he'll move the crisis suit and the shield drone up into that center area, and if he does, all it takes is a Drukhari charging that shield drone, right? If you can just charge the shield drone and not get onto the crisis suit, you can avoid the overwatch, kill the drone, and then consolidate into combat. Now, mind you, the crisis suit can fly, it can get out of combat, but if you can cycle charges on it, I don't know. This is going to be scary. And he has the recon and he has the comms and he has the sniper ion, so he does have the ability to get a kill or two early, buffing up the ballistic score of these things. But I don't know. This is definitely out there, and this is like you said, it's a Beernid special, right? He'll run some interesting things and he'll try them. He brainstorms and he brainstorms and he brainstorms. I've shared a hotel with him when we've gone to LVO and things like that, and he was up at like 4 a.m. or something like that rewriting his list. This is what he does, right? He's only got this one roster, but he built it to have a bunch of different teams, and he built it with Drukhari in mind because he knew there was going to be a lot of Drukhari. I think there was something like 10 Drukhari lists that had already been submitted by the time he was submitting his roster. He knew Drukhari was going to be there, but yeah, it's interesting because he doesn't actually have, if you look at his roster, he doesn't have a sniper rails. The only sniper he has is Ion. He doesn't have a demo rail. He just has, I believe, the regular rail and the comms rail. So he doesn't have the traditional makings of a drone spam list. Yeah, this
I,
is
I
this is going to
think
be
I think not
interesting.
taking the sniper is a good move. It frees up. Yeah, so he's the sussy Sept, so he's already rerolling ones to hit. The only thing the sniper does is let you spend one CP to boost your to hit by one, which maybe you want the extra specialist instead. I
Yeah.
think that's what. Yeah, again, like the Bearded special. Like I only realized partway through. Oh yeah, I don't need the sniper. That's not doing me anything.
Yeah. I mean, the sniper obviously on the, but if you look at it, right, the Ion is also already re-rolling ones, correct? But he still made that a sniper specialist. So he wants the boost. That's what it's there for, right? It's there for the boost of the +1 using the 1 CP tactic for sniper, but he's doing it on an ion instead of a rail. Now, my experience with ion is that you blow yourself up, or it's only -1 AP, so you're really not cutting through their armor like the rail does, and then they make a save. Now, in this case, he's going up against a lot of 5+ invulns anyway, so the AP doesn't make as big of a difference. But in most matchups, I do not like the ion. I've had bad experiences with it. I have completely cut it from my roster, whereas when I started, I had one or two of them on there for certain matchups, and I've just completely moved away from them because the rail is almost always superior. And even when it doesn't seem like it's superior, the AP
It
just
still
makes,
is.
yeah, exactly. So it looks
So I think
like you asked, did they let you know what was on the crisis? Okay, it is the 3 times air bursting uh, rifle. I forget the exact name of it, but that's the one where it is D6 auto hit, or not D6 auto hits, D6 shots. Um, and I believe it's strength 4. It's like a flamer, except it's got 18-inch range. You need to roll to hit, but it can shoot at things that it does not have vision of or line of sight of. So I don't know.
which
How do
really
you?
helps him with it really helps him with domination, right? He can stick that crisis suit right in the middle, and if they don't come to him, well, I've got 3d6 chances to hit you on a 6. I'm probably going to get one of them.
Yeah, he probably will, right? And then they'll either make the save or make the feel no pain wound. Five is that a 5 up as well, right? The feel no pain for
6
the
up,
Drukhari. Okay,
6 up.
6 up for the Drukhari. I couldn't remember. But yeah. So they have a lot shielding that, right? And it's only a 1 damage weapon. And I think realistically, looking at this matchup, I don't know if you avoid the crisis. I mean, I guess to some degree, right? Yeah, I guess avoid it, get in on the rails if you can, and take those out. I think it's really going to come down to this first and potentially second turn here, but realistically, mostly the first turn is whether these Tau can do some heavy damage to the Druhkari numbers in turn 1, because if they don't, as the game goes on, they can reroll charges, they get plus to their weapon skill, they get, all these bonuses and advantages, whereas the Tau are going to be on the back foot, right? And they're going to be struggling at that point if they're getting into melee, because they do not have the drones to avoid those wounds and kills on their rifles, and their rifles do nothing for them in melee. So
And Baronet did something interesting during deployment. He put his iron rifle and his rail rifle down. Those are the first two models that he put down, and he put those down while Ryan was deploying into reserve. And so he's committed an awful lot of firepower to one side of the board. Um, yeah, I wonder where he's going to get this Mandrakes deep struck. And what is this? What is this? Is that an Incubus? Yeah, an Incubus. How is it going to get across the board? Yeah, man. Yeah, this first round is going to be. Oh, and we have the roll off. It looks like Biernid is going first.
Bjornit has won the initiative roll here, so he will make the first turn. Looks like Ryan decided not to do his veteran move. I think that's pretty smart in this situation, I guess. This is not where the Tau want to be, right? You do not want initiative in round 1. I mean, I guess with the air bursting, he doesn't really worry so much about that, but you know, it's it's going to be tough, right? If you there isn't much place to hide on this map, but when you look at where the Tau have currently deployed, there is a decent amount of hiding from this firepower. Like you mentioned, it is odd to me that he put them both here onto this objective rather than putting one on top like he did on the other side. Um, yeah, and
Well,
it's
you do
odd.
still have a pretty good line of sight into the middle from both of those, right? Yeah, where's domination coming in? Like, who's going up? That'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
he took domination. I assume. Yeah, it is bizarre, considering where he's advanced and moved this crisis suit now onto this objective. The other thing is you have to look here. This rail that's on its own is the comms. He did not put the comms with his sniper. Now, in my opinion, this rail over here, the non-specialist, should have been the one that's out on his own, right? You're taking some shots with that, but I think you want the comms over there with the recon and the sniper to really buff up that ion and get some good shots in. Whereas now the comms isn't even close to really anything other than the leader to buff it, because he can't buff himself. So
Um, the comms can buff the Recon Drone, which maybe that's interesting, right? Like if you have a Mandrake deep strike and you get 4 shots on him, if any of those shots hit, the Mandrake's probably dead, right? Like you're
he's
going to
not
be
with the
wounded on
recon drone
threes.
though. He's with the shield drone. He put the
Oh, he's with
comms
the
over here
shield
with the shield
drone.
drone.
I missed that.
The recon is with his sniper and his non-specialist
Oh,
rail. Yeah. So
apparently I don't know enough Tau to tell my drones apart here.
yeah. Okay, so he is positioning it, and it looks like he just measured. He's trying to get the comms to be able to boost this demo crisis suit.
Ooh,
Um,
that'll be interesting.
it,
Yeah,
it,
he's got his eyes on that Klaivex, that Zealot Klaivex.
he does, right, but that's 2 wounds. And again, it's a 3-up save because there's no AP on the air bursting. It's got 2 wounds. You've got a 1 damage weapon with no AP, and you're talking about D6 shots, right? You could potentially, mind you, it's not going to generally happen, but what if he rolls 3 1s there, right? Then you have 3 shots of no AP, strength 4 against, which is, I believe, is the Klaivex. Okay, he is toughness 3 as well. I couldn't remember. I have played Druhkari. I was practicing them before this tournament, but I just, there's so many numbers, there's so much going on, I forget some
Yeah,
things here.
Ryan has all toughness 3 models on the board. So the worst that Byrnid is doing is wounding on 3s, if not 2s, with some of his rail rifles.
And yes, you are correct, Delex. That is an Acothyst combat specialist on the board, uh, with a Venom blade. So
So
yeah,
I think the Venom Blade is an interesting choice. It's good for this matchup. I think the Venom Blade is always wounds on a 2+. So you're hitting on 3s, starting in turn 3, hitting on 2s. You're wounding on 2s. It doesn't have an AP, but you're not paying for the AP. With the Tau, I don't know that you really need it.
you don't.
If you're doing a 5-up save, yeah, it's fine.
Even less so, you need it when you look at the fact that there are no drones for him to push these wounds off onto, right? There's one shield drone. If this shield drone, right? We could have a situation here where this shield drone puts in work. You need those 5-up feel no pains to ignore ignore the savior protocols, right? I have had games where I've had one drone take like 4 or 5 savior protocols. It happens, right? But that's a lot to rely on and put on this one drone.
I don't want to measure on the screen and give away the game. Is the shield drone within 2 inches of the crisis suit?
It's 3 inches for savior protocols, and I do believe that it
Great.
is. Yeah. So, because the comms was within 6 to give him that, so I have to imagine the shield drone is within 3 of either one of them, to be fair. So,
There you
uh,
go.
yeah, I don't think that's the thing, though, right? Is now you've put yourself in a situation where your comms, I believe, is holding. Okay, no, the leader is holding the objective back here, but that's the thing too. Is look at this leader. He's out here. All you have to do is, I mean, what? How much distance do you have to this corner? Where you can drop in a Mandrake and kill that leader turn 1, and then he loses this objective.
Oh, absolutely. If I were doing this, I bet you can get a Mandrake in on the top of the container. He'd probably be obscured from the leader, and your leader's not going to hit him. And then you get your shot, and you get charged next turn. Yeah, that's yeah. I wonder where the deep strikes are coming in.
Yeah, oh man, this is, I love Biernid, but he was talking to me earlier today about some of these matchups and what I thought, and obviously because of my play style and because of my experience, I pushed for drones, and we had discussion about it, and I thought, just again, it gives you the positional because of the killing options. There was cut apart, that doesn't do great for Tau. There was bounty hunters, which isn't great for Tau because generally you're shooting people and then you have to walk up and get the bounty hunter. I'm not about that, right? So you have death from afar, right? So he's put himself in a situation now where he's moved up his crisis. Not only is he not scoring domination, he can't score death from afar right now if he buffs up this crisis suit and shoots people. It's an 18-inch range on those airbursting guns, and a lot of his targets are within that range, right? Um, yeah, I don't
Absolutely.
know.
He could get death from far up top. He's got the recon drone. He's got a sniper. Everybody over there is readied. I don't know. He's daring Ryan to stay on that objective with the Incubus or come down with the Mandrake. And
Yeah.
ooh, I wouldn't want to take that challenge.
Yeah, but again, you look at right, these mandrakes are at a base -1 to hit, correct? And you have a sniper here. Okay, you can use his tactic. If the models that he's shooting at aren't, I mean, obviously he'd want to have them in cover, right? But if they aren't in cover, then the recon's not doing anything for you, and you don't have your comm specialist over there. So these guns are going to be what, base 4 ballistic skill? Okay, we've got a roll here. Looks like, I think, yeah, Ryan is doing some advances. So I think this is going to be an uphill battle, but like I said, it's really going to be dependent on this first turn. If Ryan gives him the shots turn 1 and Chris is able to connect and take out some of these models early, this could have a chance, but it is definitely wild. It is not something that I have never put an air bursting onto a board. Um, and
I'm loving this.
I would have never put this team together, right? But again, he didn't have the options. The only sniper he has is the Ion. The only has So when I saw those 3 gunners, I thought, oh, he's going drones. And then what's sitting next to it is this crisis. So Ryan's moving up his incubi. Looks like he's advanced him and run him up top there.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
yeah, I don't even know. It looks like
I
one
mean, it
of
gets
these
him out of
guys has a
shot
shot on
range.
him. It looks like they
Okay,
still
yeah.
have shots on him. It will be obscured. And I don't even know. I don't want to measure again to see if it's long distance, but I mean, right? Like let's say that's almost
Di
like it's almost
it's
funny
about
when you think
18
about it.
inches. Yeah, it's 18 inches between the deployment zones.
Okay, so that's the thing, right? And it's 15 inches for long range on these rails. Like if I almost think like if I were Ryan, knowing what objectives, like what secondaries he had, obviously you don't want to put any of your models in a bad position. But like if you don't leave anything long distance for him to shoot at, then he can't score that. At the same time, long distance is a -1 to hit. He doesn't really have any way to buff these guys over here other than the recon drone and the sniper tactic. Now, mind you, they both still have 2 CP, so I would expect that sniper tactic to come into play here. Is that all of Ryan's movement, or did they just? No, I don't think so. I think he just took away the deployment zones so they could see the board better, perhaps.
So Byrnit has death from afar domination. Does he also have bounty hunters?
Yes, he has. Yes, it's death from
That
afar,
that
bounty hunters, and domination.
that's an interesting hedge, right? Because if he shoots you up close, he'll move up and take the bounty hunter token. If he shoots you far away, he'll get the point. I like that strategy. It's maybe not the strategy I would take, but I haven't thought about Tau half as much as Beernet has. You know?
Yeah, so it's interesting again though because I remember having these conversations with him where he said it's going to come down to the secondaries. This packet is all about the secondaries. You see all these ties have come down to I think who's maxed out a secondary. Some of these teams have struggled to get some of these secondary points. This is these are counteracting, right? If you shoot them like you can get one but you can't really get the other. If you're shooting them from super far away, you get death from afar, but there's no way you're going to get that bounty hunter token unless you've completely obliterated their team, which is why I think this is almost an all-in roster or all-in team that he has put together here where he has to get kills turn 1 and turn 2 and then rely on potentially the Druhkari breaking or not having the ability. I struggle to see how this team is going to go the distance in this matchup. Yeah, I don't know. This is coming from all my time as a Tau player. I obviously am not a fan of Crisis. Again, I have made it known on many different formats, but Biernid has discussed this with me as far back as he and I have first started talking when he tried to, talk to me about an elite Tau roster. And I think that if stealth suits could take some other weapon options, I could see something there with stealth suits. I've taken two of those at 125 before, and they can actually do some work and be pretty survivable, right? They can also use the savior protocols, but Crisis and three Pathfinder gunners with only two drones. This is just you're going away from everything that Tau kind of have at their advantage, right? Like I don't know. This is just I'm still recovering from this muster, and we're already in the second part of the movement phase here in turn one. So, uh, yeah, what would you be looking at right now as as a Drukhari player, right? So he's looking at
So
different
we
positions for this Incubus, and I think that's still kind of just where they're just working on this first Incubus advance because that looks like a copy of his Incubus model right there on the battlefield. So
Yeah, so we've talked about how untraditional Bearded's Towel list is. When I look at this Drakari list, I also say, "Wow, that was gutsy to take against Tau." I think the Incubus and the Klaivex are they're very difficult to work against Tau because if you don't make your charge, they're going to kill you, and well, I mean, they're going to for the greater good, anyways. But even if you do make the charge, you must kill them, or else they're going to fall back. And it's not like you ever see a single Tau alone. Well, I mean, maybe in this game, but if they fall back, then you have no option except to fall back. The Incubus and Klaivex don't have any ranged weapon, so
hmm
you really have to be careful about getting in there. And any AP is going to really hurt the Klaivex, and it's toughness 3. That's an interesting choice. The lone rack is interesting. Yeah. Is that more useful or less useful than a Mandrake? The thing that I love about racks is how survivable they are. Right? He can put that combat rack right there on that objective, and he can sit there all game. And are the Tau actually going to kill him? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So I'm wondering if he's going to get his combat stuck in, or just sort of sit there and say, okay, you have no AP on your airbursting frag projector. I've got a 4 up. I'll reroll one or two of those, and I'll be good.
yeah.
Um,
It's also interesting when you look at this list, right? You have one Acothyst, aka Rack. That's who's getting the subfaction bonus here. There's everybody else is a what do they call them? I forget what the term is.
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries. Yes, okay. I forget it's a special rule. Maybe it's just mercenary. I forget what it is, but there's a special rule where they don't get the subfaction bonus. So the only person getting it is this Acothyst, which is just so interesting to me right now. Looks like they're measuring distance on this airbursting because again, it doesn't need vision, right? So this Nightfiend leader has to be out of 18 inches, not just hidden, out of the 18 inches. And then if he's out of the 18 inches, he's not hidden from potentially this ion, right? Over here on the other side of the board. Mind you, it'd be a long range shot, but yeah, I would be more scared of the ion sniper than I think I would be of the air bursting. But yeah, looks like he can nudge
Well,
it back a little bit and just get out of 18.
My experience with Mandrakes is they're really versatile, but I'm not very bold with my Mandrakes. I'm very cautious with my Mandrakes. They're toughness 3. They have a 5 up invuln save, but man, those are not great odds. Like if someone gets a couple hits through, it's likely that you're gonna go to injury roll there. So yeah, I think what Byrne's done there is he's forced if if Ryan wants to engage on all fronts, he's going to have someone back there. He's going to have to hide. Is that his? Yeah, that's his leader, Nightfiend. He's just sort of like, okay, you're hiding, and like you have to be far away from me. I think that's an interesting move.
Yeah. It I mean, this is just it's so bizarre, right? And it's so different than the last two matches we've casted. You said you haven't seen Matt Hole play yet. We Matt Howell with his cultist, we saw him and he absolutely destroyed destroyed Ray J with his AdMech in our match, and that actually I believe was like a turn one or turn two concede kind of situation. And the game before that we casted was a similar situation with a Sisters of Silence versus Astra Militarum, Micromancer versus Anthony, and the Astra Militarum just took it to the Sisters of Silence. So this is kind of the first matchup where we weren't expecting that kind of we were hoping for a more even tactical kind of matchup, and now we've gotten these two really
This
bizarre
is
rosters.
crazy.
So yeah, gosh, I'm just looking at this, and again, I think the initiative plays such a factor in this game, right? How much better would you feel as a Tau player going second in this lineup, right? Where you can just set up everything, know exactly where your opponent's going to be, know exactly what shots you're going to have, and things like that. This is this is a tough team for him to be playing, but even tougher to the fact that he had to have the initiative in turn one.
But I think as a Drukari player, I'm generally very happy to go second because that means, what are you going to do? You don't know where I'm going to be. I can get out of your line of fire because, I mean, the racks are survivable, but everybody else, I don't know. And sort of going, the trade-off is going second means that if Biren had anybody to deep strike, he could screen out he screen out the mandrakes. But as it is right now, I'm looking at this. Like I'm going to put a mandrake behind each of the containers, out of line of sight. I'm going to charge in round two. Get into combat with the leader. Get into combat with your sniper squad down there. And yeah, turn two might be rough if Ryan makes those charges.
Yeah, and that's a situation over here, right? Where you look at this situation with the Ion, the Pathfinder, and the Recon Drone. So let's say he drops in that Mandrake. What I'd be looking for as the Tau player is I in a normal drone spam situation is I want initiative turn two because turn two I can run some shield drones into you. I can run this Recon Drone into you. I can stop you from getting into combat with my rails. But Chris doesn't have that at his disposal right here, right? He only has the one shield drone, which is clearly set up to absorb wounds for the crisis, and then he's got the recon back here, which could potentially do some work, right? But if you're so busy dealing with those mandrakes in your back line, you've got an incubi moving up the field who's going to be re-rolling charges turn two. So yeah, I mean, as a Tau player, I 100% turn one always want to go second. I can't think of a scenario where I'd want to go first as a Tau player. But yeah, this is
Well, yeah, that's what Sheldon Killstream Stream would say about the tactic. Was it the 2 CP tactic in some of his packets to reroll initiative? Like you're not rerolling, you're not playing that spending the 2 CP to get the initiative. You're spending the 2 CP to lose the initiative.
yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, it's quite the predicament, and it's to be fair, that's too many CP for me uh, to reroll and potentially still win the initiative. So I have never used that tactic. I am not sure I have ever seen it be used. It has never been used in a game that I've played by me or my opponent. But it is an interesting one out there that I think potentially baits some people into rerolling when maybe they shouldn't, because I still think as much as I don't want to go first and as much as the initiative can affect a matchup, I don't think I've ever had a matchup where I 100% lost on having to go first in round one, right? Like you lose out on some shots, but you'll make them up later. You lose out on some ground, but you can make that up later. Like there's not really any benefits to going first as Tau player because you give them the chance to hide from your guns, but I don't think that it completely destroys your chances or anything like that. So
Well, the other the ace of the sleeve that both these players have is moving during the shooting phase. We may not the Mandrakes have in deep struck, but we may not actually see the in configuration of who's controlling what objectives until the end of the shooting phase. The Tau, they can spend one CP instead of shooting. Their Pathfinders can move 2d6 inches. Like that'd be a long roll for some bearded Pathfinders, but maybe you get up on some of those objectives, and certainly the Druhkari, the Mandrakes maybe be able to shoot and then move. Yeah, it's we don't know what this is going to look like round 2 yet.
yeah, very true. Interesting though too the disparity right between the Azuryani slash Drukhari fire and fade, where they still get to fire and then they get guaranteed their full 7 inches of movement. Whereas with the Tau, you give up your ability to fire and then you roll 2d6, which could end up being less than your actual movement to move with that model. So, and they're both 1 CP. Interesting what 1 CP gets you depending on what faction you are, right?
Exactly. But man, the thing that I would love to fire and fade the most is one of the Incubus or one of the Klaivex, right? But you can't because they can't fire.
Yeah.
But man, like you get that you spend one CP to get even closer in to guarantee that charge next turn. That would be big. But yeah, not the game that we have.
Now, does fire and fade work if you fire grenades or a pistol or
Uh,
something like that? Is it a
after
pistol
after
would
you
work?
shoot.
Okay, okay. Would now grenade counts, right? Because that's shooting phase. Not that these guys have
Uh,
grenades either. I'm just
yeah,
thinking about
I think there are no grenades on the board. Do Tau have grenades? I should know
Tau
this.
do have grenades, but they are useless. They are like photon grenades, and I believe they give a -1 to hit to the person that you hit with them. And like they don't do any damage. They're terrible. I have never used them in a game. I've never had a situation where they felt useful. So
Yeah, there are no grenades on the board for Drakari.
yeah. Uh,
Uh, yeah, so it's interesting. So not only did the Nightfiend move back out of the line of sight of the airburst projector, but also the combat specialist went back. Which I mean, I don't know that I would charge that crisis suit either. But yeah,
yeah.
so is he going to score any objectives this round, Ryan? Well, I guess he's still got the deep striking left to go for that.
Yeah, interesting movement of that Klaivex. I'm not sure he's done moving it, but he is in full range of both the Ion and the rail rifle here. Yeah,
He advanced a very short amount. I mean, it
yeah.
doesn't matter. There are no penalties for advancing a Klaivex, but yeah.
Mind you, um, he will have some cover here for obscurity, but he will not get the benefit of the being within 1 inch because it's the table over here that would be obscuring him, I think. Looks like they are doing the Mandrake Deep Strike now, so the movement is done. That is where he is leaving that Klaivex. Again, I don't want to measure and give too many ideas here, but Chris can see these things. He's aware that these models are within full view of his guns. So, all right, looks like one Mandrake here who is just going to be completely safe and ready to blind charge over these containers, or maybe not.
Mm, yeah, I guess maybe Baronet can't get Mandrake in behind that container. Maybe it's less than 5 inches. Yeah, that would make sense.
He's going to put two in
Yeah,
here, and
that,
he's just taking it to score the engage on all fronts. He's got one on each side of that line. He just measured that line right down. He's going to do it again, it looks like, measuring that line right down the center. He wants one on
yep.
either side of it, so he's got that, and he's obviously got it on this corner here. He's got two models, and on this side, he's got two models as well. So he's got all those board edges figured out. Um, Looks like the Crisis could potentially shoot him if he had the 18 inches there. I'm not sure if he does. But other than that, nothing's going
I'm
to be able to
thinking
shoot
that's a
him
little
this.
bit out of range. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't think any shots are going to get on that those two Mandrakes there.
yeah, and obviously the rifles on the other sides of the containers certainly aren't. That's interesting to me, right? I would have thought personally, and maybe it's a range thing, but I would have thought he would have wanted to set them up more in this general area around this container over here, where the Pathfinder leader and the Pathfinder comms are on the other side of this container, so that you can get in on that Pathfinder leader. at the. I mean, I think he could have even set up in a position where he would have had shots on the Pathfinder leader, but the rail wouldn't have been able to see him. Yeah, I'm not sure,
Yeah,
but
I bet he just can't get 5 inches on top of the container. I bet that's what it is.
yeah, but even from behind the container, right? Like back here near the, if he just moved that one Mandrake to the left, it would be back here behind this container. He could have shots on the leader. I guess the leader would get to shoot first because the Tau has initiative here, so maybe he's just worried about losing those Mandrakes. He's more concerned about the engage on all fronts, which is the way to go, correct? Right? Like that's the secondary. That's what he has.
Oh
He's not
yeah,
he's not going to score
absolutely.
so much from the kills. So it's kill team. Sometimes some of us, I am extremely guilty of it, focus on these kills. Like you just want to see those models go out of action, and especially in the kill one, kill more format that we've been playing for a lot of the last year, it's you can get focused in on those kills and forget about some of your secondaries and what you need to do for them. So looks like the third Mandrake is coming in here on this objective in full sight of these big guns. I guess not full sight. He does appear to be obscured from the ion, and it looks like obscured from the rail. Interesting. I guess I don't know that he could have gotten it within an inch of that anyway for the obscurity bonus to the out of action roll if he had moved it closer to the tower. But
The the other thing is Ryan doesn't have to be in a rush. He's going to be able to reroll charges in turn two. In turn three, he's going to be able to hit on two pluses. That's I like to keep around, especially the Klaivex. Like I don't want to rush him in veteran charge. I want to make sure that I can get him in on the charge, and want to make sure I can get those 2+ to hits. So if Ryan plays strategy for a couple turns, racks up some secondaries, and then goes in for the kill round three. No, that's not a bad position for him to be in.
oh, absolutely, right? You do want to, however, score that. You want to try to score that kill one every turn, right, for the
Oh,
primaries,
absolutely.
which is tough to do when you don't have any guns other than your Mandrakes, and two of them are in a position where they can't shoot anybody. Uh, yeah, I mean, I assume we'll see the shooting from the veteran. It looks like we're going to turn one shooting, and it's going to start with our Tau since he has three readied models ready to shoot. So yeah, we're gonna
Are,
potentially
who,
see some blood here.
who's the one that you want to make sure to get his shot off? Which looks like the bonuses are going out. Which model are you shooting with first?
I think you go with the Ion, right? You buff the heck out of it,
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
take your shot there. Doesn't look like he's gonna be able to split any shots. He's measuring here, looking at I guess what he has available to him. I suppose you could actually fire with the Recon Drone first here. Um, Shoot with the Recon Drone first, see if you get lucky killing something. And if you do, then you could move your Ion onto the other for a more guaranteed kill. Uh, but yeah, I don't know that he can see that Incubus. It's hidden behind the curtain here, the black. You can see it if I mouse over it. You can see its silhouette behind it, but it's kind of hidden. So
Yeah.
it looks like he is shooting the Ion, overcharging. Needs
Oh,
fives. He needs fives, even overcharging. So that's the number of shots because it's overcharging.
oh, there we
D3.
go.
So he got one shot. He hit it on a five. Needs a two to wound. Gets the
He
wound.
got it.
So
Oh, he
gets
made
the
the
six
save.
with the 5-up invul and he gets the save. Now the thing is too, we would have had a situation here where I believe it goes up to, is it a flat damage 2? Yeah, it is a flat damage 2. Okay, so it's not the D3 of the rail, which would have been nice there, but the 6-up save does it, and sniper's done with, right? So now
Yep.
your most buffed weapon. I don't believe he used the sniper tactic, so he could have gotten it down to fours potentially, right? Um,
Well, it looks like this is a good matchup for Beardnid. The rail rifle versus the Klaivex. That's in range, or maybe you go for the Mandrake.
he already
Ooh, yeah.
shot it at the Klaivex and he failed on a roll of two.
Ooh,
So now he's doing the recon drone into the Mandrake here. Looks like he had two hits. No, one actually,
he's
because
got the
it's long
reroll.
distance. Yeah, he's got the so he only gets the one hit. So this is to wound here. Needs a three. Gets the wound. Here we're gonna see the save here. No AP. Not that it matters. It's a 5-up invuln. Misses it there. Does he re-roll
Ooh.
it?
Don't reroll 5-ups.
No, he went for the feel no pain there. He did not get it. Now here we go, the out of action roll, I believe. Yep. And he gets it.
Oh, that was a big kill for Baronet.
Yeah.
Okay, you're down one objective. Now you've got the hold more. You took out one of the Mandrakes. So yeah, that was good.
So it's interesting though, right? Because you look at this, and this is something I say about Tau a lot, is that they are the best, worst shooting team army in the game, right? Like they've got these really cool weapons. Everybody thinks about them as shooting, but it's really more about the number of shots than it is the quality of shots, right? But so when you're going this kind of elite setup, that's why I think that the comms would have done so much work here, but right, he didn't have it. So the thing that ended up killing something was a recon drone. Of all the ion sniper, the rail rifle he had there, the thing that killed something was the recon drone with its 4 shots. Looks like they are looking at create crisis at initiative. First gun is onto the Mandrake here. So
Ooh,
D6 shots. He gets the
and I think.
6. Gets the 6. That's huge.
Oh,
And he is not obscured at all from him too. So these are
that was
going to be
fours.
hitting on 4s unless he's comms boosting him, I assume.
Oh, yep, yep.
Oh no, he's not. Wait, what?
Oh, he's com boosting the Pathfinder probably. Pathfinder leader.
I'm not sure why though.
Extra shot on that Mandrake, I guess.
So now I got 1. It does wound. So here's the 5-up save. Oh wait, what?
I don't know.
Oh, he re-rolled one of the ones. So 3 hit.
Oh, right, right.
2 of them wound. So 2 5-ups.
2 5-ups is tough.
He made one of
Gets
them.
one.
One feel no pain here.
Oh, the mouse is moving around. The tension. Is he gonna re-roll it?
I mean, he's still got 2 more of these guns on this crisis suit. So
I know, right?
re-rolling it at this juncture, although it may seem like the play,
It doesn't make the feel no pain.
no feel no pain. Here's the out of action roll. Looking at a coin flip here. And he gets it. So these
Is
dice
he?
are, I would say, working very well. Wait, 4.
Oh, flesh wound. He's within an inch of it. It's not within an inch of the blocking terrain, but it's within an inch of the terrain. It's
I
not
don't
line of
know.
sight
I'm
blocking.
looking at from the gun. It didn't look like it was. Oh no, yeah. See the. Oh no, that's the
Oh,
bounty hunter.
okay.
It's been removed. That's the
There we
bounty
go.
hunter.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. That's
okay.
the bounty hunter token. Okay, got it. I was worried there for a moment because I was like, that does not look obscure to me. Volume is a
And
little low. Yeah, I'll bump it up. Give me 1 second here. Hope that helps. I bumped it up a little bit in OBS. Still getting used to all the streaming intricacies here. So yeah, that's a second. That's 2 Mandrakes taken out in the first shooting. This is like I said. This is what had to happen here, right? These Tau had to get these kills in early and stop the potential turn 2, turn 3 that we've been discussing about getting into combat here.
Baronet has 2 more sets of shots with that D6 frag bursting
Yep,
projector.
gets 3 here. He's shooting at this Incubus and only hits 1. So now rolling for the wound here. And does not wound.
Oh, but he can try again with another D6
He does
shots.
have the third air bursting, right? So it's funny, right? Because these CP reroll on the wound. Okay, here we go.
Interesting.
It makes sense, I think, in this
Yeah,
situation. You don't really have a lot of shooting to worry about. You're coming back at you, right? And he's got the shield drone there for the savior protocols. Um,
yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, Brian's not going to get a shot off.
Gets the wound here. All right. 5-up save.
That's
5-up save goes. I believe he's going to put the last gun into the exact same model. No, I don't think that he can see this guy. Yeah.
well, he's got the D6 or sorry hits on a 6 even if he can't see him with the
Oh,
frag
you're
bursting
right. You're right.
projector.
You're right. Of course. I'm so used to you know, vision working the way we all expect it. Third gun, same guy. Okay, here we go. D6 hits. Only 2. This is that thing that I was worried about. I mean, he's lucky he got that 6 initially, right? But this is... And they were both hitting on 4s. He gets to re-roll that 1. Rolls it into a 2.
Oh,
Nothing else there. So, I mean, it's good, right? He's still got the 2 Mandrakes out, and he still has this other rail to fire in the regular shooting phase. And this rail is going to have a clear, pretty clear shot at... not exactly clear, obscured, but he's going to have a shot at that Incubus, and there's nothing really for the Druhkari to shoot at, it doesn't look like, because the
no,
2
no.
Mandrakes that were in a position to potentially shoot somebody cannot do so. Trying to see if that guy's in range. Not looking like he is, although he's not measuring from the front of the model. I think he might be in range here. Yeah. Now in this case, you just gotta hope for those mortal wounds, right? On the Mandrake shots, because that's the only way you're gonna avoid the shield drone picking them up.
Yeah, I think you've got something like a 10% chance at range for getting one of the mortal wounds. So you're not going to get one every turn, but if you have what does he have like 5 mandrakes that he started with?
Yeah, well, 2 of
Yeah,
them
no,
are
that
gone.
yeah, yeah. No, I was just counting up. So I think
One of
Ryan
those
has
hit.
eight models.
One of those
Ooh,
hit. No wound there. Uh, yeah. So nothing going there. So those shots are done, and I believe now we're gonna see the rail shots.
yeah, that incubus. Oof. So I think Baron's doing okay with his bounty hunters, right? He can move the crisis suit onto the middle. Then he's set up for domination. If the incubus charges in, he's got a bunch of shots at him on Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now how you get the bounty hunters token way back in Ryan's zone? Oh, I don't know, but you can get at least the one in the middle.
Yeah. All I'm thinking here though is, wouldn't you rather have cut like those 2 rails and given yourself what 4 more drones or something like that?
At least
I just
20 drones,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Fire and fade, moving 7 inches. Oh, yep. There we go.
Yep.
That's smart. Now he's ready for the charge next turn.
Yeah, he is giving that Recon Drone vision though. I think he's gonna pull back until the Recon Drone can't see him, because you do not want to give him free Overwatch on
No, no.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, so I expect there's going to be a decisive move roll off in the
Oh,
next
most
turn.
definitely. Most definitely. Chris is going to want to get this Recon Drone into that Mandrake. Keep him off the objective, off of his rail rifle and ion rifle. Okay, so looks like we are dealing with some other shots that we have left. Rail comms into Incubus. Yep.
Ooh, Shane in chat has said Ryan 100% should have charged the crisis and shield drone with the Klaivex. It would have been a bold move. That's a lot of shots to take in Overwatch, but yeah, if you get stuck in like that, the crisis is going to have some difficulty against all of
Yeah.
those Zealot Klaivex's attacks.
Yeah. All right, both of those hit. Chris is really getting
Ooh,
some favorable dice here. 1 wound. No save here because it is the Incubus with a 3-up save, and it's a -4 on the rail rifle. So it would go straight to injury here. Well, it would go to feel no pain, rather. Yeah, checking damage for feel no pain. Single damage. All right, this is a big FNP roll here. Not going to get it. So that is going through. It is 1
ooh.
damage roll, though. So now we have a singular out of action roll for the injury. Single dice. And he gets...
Oh,
Oh, Chris is wishing he still had that reroll now and he hadn't used it on that wound.
that's okay though.
Yeah.
He's got three flesh wounded or out of action. 3 out of 8. He gets 2 more next turn like this again, and then Ryan's on a break test.
Yep.
Now with the break test and the Druhkari, the Klaivex is the key model, right? If you've got a leadership at 9, it's really hard to break.
Yeah.
So man, my priority target for if to get Ryan to have to take a break test is definitely how many rail rifle shots can I get into that Klaivex?
Yeah. Well, he took 1 because it was a long range shot. Leader long range, same target. All right. So the leader's going to take his 2 shots with his pulse rifle there. Pulse carbine, rather. 1 hits. He gets to reroll 1. 2 hits. 2 wounds. No AP. But, so these are just 2 3-up saves here.
2 3-up saves makes me nervous, though.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm nervous on anything. But he makes them
Oh,
both
no
double
problem.
5s here. Yeah, good to go. Believe me, as a player who has played Custodes and still failed saves, I am worried whenever I roll saves. Doesn't matter what the model save is. You have a 2-up, I could still fail that. I'll find a way. Yeah, so very interesting first round here. Like I said, the Tau needed to pack a punch. It is interesting when you consider the comm specialist over here, not boosted by anything, was able to, get the shots through. This rail rifle, the regular rail rifle, and the ion sniper more or less did nothing. It was all really on this crisis suit, which is kind of what you're expecting when you take a crisis, right? And when it's the I would have rather hidden and taken the unmodified 6s to hit if I were the Druhkari player here. But he put some models out there. Oh no, actually this one was taken out by the Recon Drone. I forgot that. So going into scoring here, how are you feeling about this? If you were the Druhkari player in this situation, uh, what are you feeling you can do to, I guess, I want to say recover, because it does feel like the Tau came out punching here turn 1 and are in the lead. So,
Oh yeah, for all we said about how unconventional Birin's list is, he is he got a lot done that turn. So if I'm the Jakari, I'm still in this game, right? You've got a couple charges set up. You can get the Incubus in on a charge, you can get the Mandrake in on a charge. But you got to be careful. You're not in the position to score objectives. And I think it's going to be hard for Ryan to score hold one, hold more coming up in the next round. And if Birinid can keep on getting 2 points a turn, that's going to be hard to come back from.
It looks like Birinid wins the initiative here. So now we're gonna have to see a decisive move, like you said, with this Mandrake. Now that's where I was talking about though here with this second Mandrake. I would have positioned him a little bit closer rather than on that middle line, so that he could have tried to get in on this leader and this comms Pathfinder turn 2. Because now, I mean, even with an advance, he's gonna struggle to get over here to this objective. I felt like that would have been the play. You would have been in melee with some guys that do not do well in melee, would have been hitting on 6s against you. Yeah, I don't know. We will see. Both decisiving here. Who's going to... Oh, a tie on it, so they
Oh,
have to
it's
roll again. Oh, and it looks like, yes, Ryan wins
oh.
the decisive here. So we're going to probably see this Mandrake charge. Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, even if the Mandrake doesn't make the charge, that's fine, because what's Birinid going to do? Is he going to fall back and try to make the charge hard to preserve them for round 3 and 4? If he does, he can't shoot at anybody. And also, if he falls back, he's
Oh,
making the charge easier for
so
who's
he's
going in for the
not.
charge.
He's okay. So this is a situation where Biernid has saved 2 CP. I think he could potentially. It looks like this Klaivex is set up for a charge here. I don't. Yes, baited trap. So he will be hitting on 4s now. Now this is an interaction where I talked to Birenet about it. I'm not 100% sure about this interaction, because in my opinion it has to do with the line of sight. When discussing it with him and some other people, they said that Overwatch takes precedence. So the situation is, on Overwatch you're always hitting on 6s, correct? Overwatch takes into account that you are able to see your target, because otherwise you couldn't Overwatch them, other than point blank, and weapons that allow you to hit without having vision, as the Airbursting does. However, on the Airbursting stat block, it says when you are shooting someone that you do not have vision of, that you must hit them on 6s. The ruling is that baited trap, that makes your Overwatch go from 6s to 4s, also makes that non-vision 6s go to 4s. So he's going to have 3 hits here on that first gun. Now, I think that the weapon supersedes it. The discussion is that, I guess, the Overwatch rule supersedes the weapon rule. So he is hitting on 4s here, not 6s, and it looks like he hit 3 of them.
It also looks like Birinid is now at minus 17
Yeah,
CP, which is a bold strategy.
I think I accidentally held that down. That's my bad.
Yeah, I read it the same way that you do. The more specific rule trumps, and the more specific rule is the one on the gun. But yeah, I can see the argument both ways.
Yeah, so I agree, Shane. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That is how my understanding of it. We would have to have a TO rule in here, but it looks like they're moving on with this as it is. So he saved on the first gun, so we're getting the second gun here. D6 shots, only one shot here.
Oh, but he has more tries.
Yes, he does. He's gonna have his third gun. D6. Two. Ooh, baby. Neither gets through. So he had a
Oh,
total of 3 + 6. He had 9 shots. And I believe he had how many wounded there? Was it 2 wounded and 2 saves? No, 3 saves. He made 3 saves. So 3 out of 9. So that's a 30%, wounding getting through here. Oh wow. Okay, he's gonna get to re-roll
did he
that.
get it?
I don't think he did. He's gonna measure it here, but he will get to re-roll. Um, yeah, this is a tough one, right? Um,
I do like the move that Ryan made. I was so focused on the Mandrake that I didn't think about the Klaivex or the combat Acothyst. But yeah, like I definitely see it. You want to tie up the Crisis Suit because the Crisis Suit's going to fly, pick up the bounty hunter point.
yeah,
It's a great matchup for either of your either of your close combat units. Yeah, tie up the Crisis Suit and wait to turn to the Pathfinders.
yeah. Let's see here. I think he measured it. I don't think it made it. So I believe he's gonna have to re-roll here. Um,
Well, he does get the free reroll
yes,
from Power
yes,
from
he
Pain.
does, which is what we're seeing now. He really needs this. Okay, 8. I think an 8 can get him in.
I'll buy an 8, yeah. It's, 6, directly. He's gotta go a little bit around the container, but that's yeah, that's in.
Yeah, it's a container
Yeah,
2, right?
it's only 2.5 over, yeah.
Okay, so 2.5 over. Okay, so he can absolutely get in there then. All right, then he is in onto the crisis suit. And mind you, right, that's a zealot. So now he is up to strength. Is it just strength 5, right? Strength 5. So against the
Strength
toughness,
5, yep.
which is needed because this is a toughness 5 suit. So, right, that gets him to 4s to wound there. That's big. That's big having that zealot to get him up to the 5. Otherwise, you'd be wounding on 5. So he's going to be wounding on 4s now. He's going to have what is it? It's 5 attacks. He's going to have 5 attacks. And
About 1,000 attacks, yeah.
yeah,
It's gonna be
yeah,
a
I
lot.
know. I know. When I've played with him, I'm like, man, there's a lot of matchups. There's no need to even make the Klaivex a specialist because he's this 2 wound beast with strength 4, 4 attacks or whatever to begin with. Okay, and now the Acothyst can come in without any Overwatch going on him. Okay, things are going to potentially really turn here, right? Because you have this combat Acothyst with another 4 attacks going in that always wounds on 2s, and you're only going to be able to put off so many of those onto the shield drone if they get through, right? So I believe he definitely makes that with a roll of 9.
I don't think you can make it into the shield drone, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
Shane is saying that Ryan should have done this turn 1 because it would have been the exact same situation with the crisis suit here, whether he's shooting him not being able to see him and using baited trap, or shooting him and seeing him, and then that would have potentially negated that kill in the center, right? And it would have been a much shorter charge to make. I think Ryan was a little scared of it. I think it's the same way that I have seen opponents play against my stealth suits, right? When I played a fusion stealth suit, it's one shot and that shot can do a lot of damage, but people play afraid of it. Now, mind you, there are these tactics like baited trap and these kinds of things, but with that weapon, as Shane was pointing out in chat, when it's no AP, you have the 3-up save, you're wounding on threes with it. It's not the strongest weapon to Overwatch with, so. Yeah, so now he's got 2 guys in combat here that can do some real work. You're gonna have 8 attacks coming in on him. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is
It's a lot of attacks, but he's got 3 wounds. He's got a 3-up save. Like the
the shield
Acothyst
drone.
without any AP. Um, the Demo Crisis Suit has the 3-up save, right?
Yes, I believe it is a 3-up save, and the big thing is the shield drone here. It might
Oh,
be
oh yes, absolutely.
for the savior protocols, which then can go off to it. Although I think, and so the change to the rules, accidentally moved my combat spec out of order. Okay, they're back on track. They're good to go. Yeah, so this guy, yeah, he's got the flesh wound on him. Is he gonna charge? I don't think he's gonna charge him into the same place, is he?
Oh, he's going to make sure that he can contest the objective because he can
Oh,
consolidate in combat.
yeah, that's right. That was a decisive move on the Klaivex, and then Ryan went ahead and charged the combat, but it wasn't his turn yet because it went to Chris's initiative.
Ah,
I
yes,
believe
yes.
they're going to allow it to stand because I believe the result would have been similar anyway. But yeah, okay, this is over here like I talked about. This recon drone is now going to charge over here, which is interesting, right? Because had Chris won that initiative, I think this is the move that Chris would have made. I don't know that Chris would have moved the crisis. Maybe he would have moved it over here, but I don't know that he was expecting those charges. I think he was really expecting this Mandrake to come into his rail line. I could be wrong there, but yeah, so Drone made the charge. He's going to get in here with this Mandrake, keep the Mandrake off of his Ion and his rail rifle, keep him off of his objective. However, I don't know that he is going to be able to, really score a kill here. Yeah,
I mean, the recon drone, unlike most drones, is strength
strength
4. You
4.
never
You are
know.
correct.
He's
You are
wounding on
correct.
3s.
He is the big boy. He has a bigger body to slam against you. You know what I mean? He's got those little wings, and he's got the the big old turret that he can just do a 360 spin and slap you with it. So yeah, he can do more work against the toughness 3 models, but it's a tough ask with one attack hitting on 5s and 6s because it's a Mandrake. So
If only Baron had still had a CP for the reroll on that.
yeah. Okay. So here comes this charge, I think, or that's what Chris is looking at. Is he's looking at the charge distance from this Mandrake? Where again, I think if this Mandrake was closer, it'd be a little bit more of a threat. But it's quite a long charge. I guess he's just looking
Yeah.
at an advance to move on to the objective. But do you really want to advance and then have be in the sights of the Pathfinder leader and the Pathfinder comms, who's already done some work? Uh,
I mean, he could fire and fade onto the objective if he moves the Mandrake up,
Correct.
gets a
Yeah.
shot off, doesn't die from all of that firepower up there,
Yeah.
then he could make it on.
Just for our sake as viewers, since it's already past the fact, this won't change anything. I just want to measure here. See, 5 inches goes to right there, dude. I think he could have placed that Mandrake a lot closer, but
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right.
let's see. So Chris making some other decisions here. He shifted this Pathfinder rail over because it wasn't on the objective before. So now he's on the objective. So he's got 2 models on the objective. So if the Mandrake were to potentially kill one, it would still be a contested point.
And,
And
and he's
now
got a clear line of sight on the center objective and the far objective. So yeah, he's going to get some shots in on somebody.
hmm And so I think it was discussed in the last shooting phase. Neither this rail or this ion could see that Incubus because he is hidden there. So they will not have Overwatch on him unless they potentially move. It looks like he's trying to make sure that these guys are within 3 inches of the recon drone here so that they can potentially use it for savior protocols. The recon drone is nice because it has 2 wounds, so you can do that savior protocols and still have it for a second one no matter what, not relying on a feel no pain like the shield drones or anything like that. It's tough with 2 drones, man. He's working with 2 drones here. I have never, like, even I don't think I've even ever been in a round 4 where I've only had 2 drones left to work with. Like, this is very interesting.
Yeah, one of the things that surprised me was how effective those banners were that are going down the side of the center towers. When I
Yeah,
first looked at the towers, I looked from top down, and then I pivoted. And it was like, oh, you can see through those. That's even less cover than the LVO.
yeah.
But then actually, it's not. It's not easy, but it's definitely doable with a lot of models to just be out of sight, and yeah, that helps a lot.
Hey, Alec, you know what's more effective than a banner? A wall. There should be walls here, Alec. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. So I have to say I love the aesthetics of this map. I love that the barriers are kill team tables. Like everything looks great. It's a lot of fun to play on. But also, yeah, where's the cover?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There
It's
is
not
none.
there.
I was so surprised that two Grey Knight players made it into the bracket phase. Mind you, we have two, fairly good players playing on those Grey Knights. Nordavind, who plays them all the time, and Benji, who has had some luck on Necrons, decided to take his chances with the Grey Knights. On this board, Grey Knights seem terrifying to me because I played them at LVO and I actually won a group at LVO with them. There were ways to do things, right? But you really relied on the little cover you had, and a big part of that was these towers. And not having that cover, I couldn't even imagine trying to move my Grey Knights around the board that
Yeah,
way.
so my last game was against Benji and his Grey Knights. It was the same deployment, this long edge deployment, which meant that if he was going to get into combat with me, he was going to have to go really far. And I had I had 3 bounty hunter tokens in the last turn on the center objective because he kept on trying to take it, and I kept on picking him off with the rail rifles because there was no cover.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a really tough matchup. I think Tau versus Grey Knights on this kind of board. The thing that I would like to see for as far as terrain goes with this is I think it's really simple criteria. Can I put rail rifles down at the beginning of turn one and ready them every single turn and still have cover on most of the objectives? If that's the case, then you need you need denser terrain. You
yeah,
need to, you got to have to move those rail rifles, at least some of them, in round one, round two to, because it's just too easy to sit back, especially with someone like Grey Knights. You got to come get me, and that's just really tough
yeah.
situation.
So another interesting thing here, it looked like they were measuring some charges over that way, but he doesn't want to move this Mandrake off of this corner of the board because he needs it for engage on all fronts. Now, something else that's really interesting that I'm now just thinking of is, right, Ryan moved this Acothyst out of turn. And I think that, I mean, mind you, right, Chris might not have moved this drone the same way had this Acothyst not been in. He might have left the drone back here, but this drone got moved up. Now, let's say Chris does move that drone and then the Acothyst gets to charge. If that's the case, then I almost certainly charge onto the drone, right? And try to kill the drone to get rid of the savior protocols rather than going into the crisis. And then if you maybe kill that drone, then you can, cycle some charges into the crisis turn the next turn. I'm not sure, but that's an interesting, they made that little move out of order and they let it go, but that might have changed something, right? Because this Acothyst wasn't going to get to this drone back here, but now, I mean, where it moved potentially could have with that charge. But I mean, it's been done,
Yeah,
so
I don't think Bernie is making that move unless the Activist is charged.
for sure, for sure. Looks like, as you talked about, so he's going to do a normal move here. I am suspecting he will do a fire and fade against this leader. Mind you, the leader is ready, so the leader will get his 2 shots first, but that rail cannot see the Mandrake there. So,
But the leader can see the Mandrake, I think.
yes, the leader absolutely can. And the Mandrake is set up so that he can just see the leader, and the leader can just see him. So the leader is going to be at a -2 to shoot him. He'll be at a -1 against the leader, it's looking like, from his little elbow here. He can get the leader, but he will have the chance for fire and fade. So you just got to hope. I'm assuming that the comms will boost the leader to give him, potential kill here and avoid that Mandrake. But that's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, no, I that's a great move, right? It forces Biranid to look at, well, should I, instead of shooting, should I move to block him from coming onto this objective? Because Biranid could certainly pay one. Well, I guess Biranid doesn't have any CP. Say Biranid had some CP.
Yeah, he uses the two of them for baited trap. That's the tough thing about baited trap too, is I love that tactic, but you really need to use it in a situation where it's going, where you're almost positive it's going to secure you that kill, right? With rails, that's a lot easier because they're, -4 D3 damage, and you're thinking with 3d6 shots that you're gonna get to an injury here, and obviously he didn't, which is difficult now. He's put himself in a difficult situation. Thankfully, there is nothing close enough that can cycle charges on him next turn. So if this crisis survives, he is out of there.
I mean, if anything, Biranid could cycle charges on this Klaivex Acothyst, right? Charge in with shield drone, retreat off with the crisis suit, and then like, man, that's a tough combat situation.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like I think all of his models have been decided. He's got to move and move here to stack them up together. This, I think it's Ryan's movement now. It's looking like. Oh yeah, no, obviously it is. He moved that Mandrake. Huh. Duh. Okay.
Question in the in the Twitch chat: how does the new 2021 LVO board feel for Grey Knights? The center pit looks like very spooky for factions with squishy models versus them. Yeah, absolutely. So I love the changes that were made for the 2021 LVO in that it adds in some extra blocking line of sight in the middle. It's sort of like a Tetris shape. Yeah, you definitely you got to move around a little bit. I love that terrain change.
Yeah, I don't absolutely hate it, but I think that
It's still not not enough cover, but
it is not no, it's so much cover, dude. There is barely any firing lines in that. He's talking about the new one with the 3 CP, I believe, that's
right,
supposed to be
right.
set up for this. And the center of the board, the barricades that he's using, they're not simply obscuring cover. They're looks like what's he doing? An advance. He's doing an advance on the Incubus. Okay.
Interesting.
They're not simply obscuring anything smaller than a space marine is pretty much 100% hidden behind those barricades. So it can get very tough in there. And when you do get into combat in that center area, it is going to be a absolute slog because those barricades are also taller than the 1.5 or whatever it is that you get to move over freely. So you have to spend movement to get over those barricades. It's that center of that board is going to be an absolute slog, and a bunch of the positionals on that map are a little bit more difficult to get. You need the three corners, but the corners are near none of the objectives, and I believe for you can't get engage on all fronts and domination with the same models. If you want engage on all fronts, they can't be within the
Mm.
center 3 inches where domination is. They have to be outside of 3 inches from the center of the board. So I think we're going to see a lot of melee on that map, and it's just going to be an absolute brawl in the center of that board. It should be interesting, but if you're playing something like more shooting, like a Tau, I think you're going to struggle. Mind you, if you have a bunch of drones to throw in there, a bunch of shield drones with 4 up invulns and 5 up feel no pains, who knows? So
Yeah, no, still no one is crying for the Talon drone spam here.
yeah.
But yeah, I remember the first time I looked at the BAO packet with Arena, where you just started with all the doors open. I looked at that, I was like, huh, how's this going to work out? My first game was long edge deployments. There's almost no space, and yeah, it was just a bloodbath, and it was so much fun. I loved playing that as a close combat team.
Oh, of course. As a close combat team, you gotta love it. There's a lot of things that I have played against in there. On when we were doing some practice games, there was Druhkari in the new LVO. Druhkari was doing pretty well on there. The Berserkers were doing pretty well in that melee situation in the center. Necrons were doing well in that melee situation in the center, I think. So it looks like he's moving up that Nightfiend leader, which is interesting, right? He's going to give the guys shots that they might not have otherwise had, but I guess he feels like he might need to get up on this objective. I think he's going to roll an
I
advance here. Or no, wait, what is he doing?
he may be able to be hidden from one of the
Why has he rolled
two.
2 dice for an advance here?
It's a Hail Mary across the board 30-inch
Yeah,
charge. That's
right.
what it must be.
No, okay, he screwed up there. So he got a 1 on the
Oh,
advance there. I'm not
no.
sure what that was. So that's not
I mean, it
great.
may be enough.
Yeah, Micro, just to recap here, we have a regular Pathfinder rail, we have an Ion sniper, we have a Recon drone, we have the Pathfinder leader, we have a comms Pathfinder rail, we have a crisis suit with 3 times airbursting, and 1 shield drone is what Biernet has taken. Definitely an out there list, but turn one, it did some work. Not the big guns like you'd expect, and the crisis with the airbursting, but the Recon drone was able to take out a Mandrake here. Airbursting was able to take out a Mandrake here, and there was a flesh wound put onto this Incubi. So, yeah, going into the shooting phase, okay, he did move that leader up. Um,
Bold
looks
move.
looks like he might be hidden from the Ion Sniper. No, the Ion Sniper, I don't know if they're calling that hidden or not. He might have a shot on him. I'm not sure. All right, yeah,
On
they're doing
the
the readied leader now here.
nice.
Oh, he's not going to comms him?
Oh, you have to comms him. There's nothing else for the comms to do.
I agree. But it doesn't appear because he'd be at sixes with the comms, he'd be at fives. Doesn't matter, right? He hits neither of them either way. It is interesting that he wouldn't comms him there, though.
All right, first regular shot. Yeah, that Mandrake. Let's see. So he's going to be ignoring obscurity because of the recon drone effect.
Yep.
But yeah, that's fives or maybe sixes if it's long range.
Yeah. I'm wondering why he didn't use that comms buff there, but Pathfinder rail on 5s versus the leader. Okay, so he's firing the rail first. So he's definitely within half range if he's on 5s. Yeah, he is. Oh, and both hit. That's big. Here we
Ooh,
go for
this
the
could be a
wound.
dead leader.
1 wound, and that is the mortal
Oh.
wound. So
So do you like a 6 to wound for the rail rifles, right? Because you don't get that D3 damage potential, right? But you also don't get the save.
So there goes the feel no pain. Does not go off. So here will be the out of action roll for 1 damage. Yeah, I don't love it. Honestly, if you look at the demo specialist, it says you can add 1, because I know a lot of people talk about how adding a demo on a rail means that on 5s you're getting that mortal, but it says you. Oh, and he gets the flesh wound on him.
Oh.
Okay, and no CP to reroll there, so that leader is now at a 1 flesh wound. But yeah, I was saying about the demo specialist on the rail, it says you can add 1 to their wound rolls. Not that you have to or that you always or
Ah.
anything like that. So as far as I know, on a 5, you don't have to choose to add 1 to get the 6 for the mortal. So it depends, right? In a situation where you're going up against something big, like let's say he had because it's the mortal plus normal damage. So if it's something with more than 1 wound, you still get to get the normal damage out of it. So it can be useful. I'd say more so at 125 because you have a lot more people taking 2 wound, 3 wound, crazy models at that point limit. But let's see here. Okay,
The
he's using
long
that
range
long
shot.
range shot. Yeah.
I mean, that's the shot that he has. So
It's gonna be 1 shot hitting on 6s, I believe. Yeah, because he's gonna be
there are a
obscured.
lot of hands moving around.
Yeah, it's gonna be on 6s for sure if he's taking that shot. Oh, but it would be Ryan's shots first here, I think, on this Mandrake, if we're going back and forth, because he already took a normal shot here by
Oh yeah,
Cruz.
so and the Mandrake's just in range of that rail rifle, the comms rail rifle. It was 17 something inches.
Oh, yes, if he wanted to shoot here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was looking at the other Mandrake over here, but yeah, the Mandrake leader can fire. You are correct. So he could take that shot and put it on that sniper Ion to make sure that Ion potentially doesn't get shots back against him. Mind you, the Recon Drone is there and ready to take those savior protocols. So
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know which one's more likely to get a kill. If you go all the way across the board, which that they're measuring, or you avoid the savior protocols that way, but you're also probably hitting on 6s.
interesting. Is it not Ryan's shots? Or was this guy readied? No, that guy moved. Okay, the Nightfiend is
Yep.
shooting at that pathy over there. Okay, I mean, I guess, right, that is the Pathfinder that does not have a drone close to it, so
Ooh, looks like you got one hit.
gets the wound and the mortal. Not that it matters. I
Oh,
guess it doesn't really matter, right? I guess if there was a drone there, if he had played drone spam, the mortal would be big because it could stop him from Saber protocolizing it. And there's the kill. So that rail is
on.
dead. So that rail dies. That not only takes away a threat, but it also takes away any chance for Chris to score death from afar this turn. That was the only death from afar shot that he had available to him. So that's pretty big. Yeah, that's huge. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to get this sniper shots back against him. I assume he will be using the recon, but he can't use the sniper tactic. No CP. Keep forgetting about that. Not overcharged. Okay. Now, is he not using the recon, or had he already used it? I'm
He might have used it on the rail rifle.
potentially.
I
And
don't
why
think.
would you not overcharge when you're rerolling ones? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think
Not
he.
sure
I
about
think he
that.
got nose hits.
Yeah, no hits there. Um, Interesting. All right. Well, not 100% sure, right? He didn't use the comms on the. Although I guess do you designate the comms? Oh no, but he's already shot. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right. Well, here we go. Mandrake with his shots now. He's going to take 2 shots onto this leader, and then most likely, as you discussed, fire and fade onto the objective. Let's see here.
Yeah, and from
And the
chat.
mortal again. Oh
Oh,
wow.
oh, that's unlikely, man. Those mandrakes pay off sometimes.
Okay, does Ryan re-roll this here to try to get the
If
out of action and give him that objective?
oh, I
I
think I
think
would.
he's going to. He's
Yeah,
absolutely going to. Yeah. All right.
yeah. I'd much rather have the leader out. I
Oh
can
no,
get
that's
points
fire
later in
and
the game.
no, you're right. He couldn't. He wouldn't have been able to fire and fade if he did that. So he's just gonna do
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fire and fade and take away the objective. But I don't believe he can't fire and fade into combat. Correct? He has to stay
No.
without it within an inch away or whatever it is. Yeah, which might
So
be
was that a
tough. Might
was
be
that a
tough.
flesh wound on the Pathfinder?
Yeah, it would have been. I believe so. Yeah, they said flesh wound. And then looks like Fire and Fade. Looks like Beernade is measuring here. But I guess the Mandrake could go 2 inches up, right? And then 2.5 inches up or whatever it is. And then just
Uh,
climb up on the box.
yeah, you get 7 inches no matter what your movement is. The mandrakes have movement 8, I think. Oh yeah, can he get around? Um, mm, yeah, he should be able to.
I would think that he
Well,
could
well, if that's 4.8, then an extra two and a
maybe
half
not,
inches that
yeah.
puts him over a 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Now
Ooh.
could he not be a little bit closer though here? Could he not get it to 4.5 to be oh no, looks 4.5. It looks
Yeah,
like
I think that
4.5
works.
gets him right on the edge of it. Is what it's looking like to me. But I'm not 100, and it looks like that's out of 1 inch. So I think
Yeah.
that will get him onto that objective.
Two tactics. Well, I'll go three tactics for Druhkari. Right, it's easy. You got decisive moves, so you can get your charges in. You want to re-roll your saves for some of your key prophets of the flesh 4-up units, and then all the rest of it is fire and fade. Yeah,
I love
it's
that.
great.
Shane in the chat, just re-roll the injury, you absolute caveman. All right. So yeah, interesting situation here. Looks like he was able to keep him out of 1 inch, get onto that objective. So he will deny that one. He's got a model on this one. It looks like they'd both be. He'd actually hold more over here with this. Well, no, hold one and hold one. Sorry, hold one and hold one. Then these two will both be would both be contested at the moment.
Here
So
we go.
Recon Drone attacking. Here we go. A big
Because the
old
recon
three.
drone's in.
Yeah. I think he just wanted to see if he would have hit with any of those, which I guess he would have potentially hit with one.
Yeah, I think Bearded and I had, I think, like 7 straight re-rolls for a roll-off. Finally, he just started rolling all the dice a bunch of time to clear out the random number generator. I don't think that's how that works, but I like it anyways. Yeah, there we go, shaking out the bad vibes.
All right. So it looks like they're going to come over to the combat here. The Klaivex or the Acothyst first. Not sure which. This is actually looking really, really good for the Druhkari player here now. I think the board state is pretty heavily in his favor, right? This leader is definitely looking at an Incubus or this Mandrake coming in on him next turn. Even if this guy leaves this combat, right? I guess he'll get some shots no matter where, because I assume that he'd fall back to here, but he still has not scored domination once. And if he goes to the middle of the board, then you have a possible Incubi charging in on you. I just don't. Yeah, this board state is definitely looking like it has shifted to the Druhkari, but we'll see how this combat goes. So combat
I
Acothyst into it first.
I think Bearded can survive this one with this crisis suit intact. That's my guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I believe the intent was within 3 inches here. I don't know if they're discussing whether or not it was. Yeah, okay, they're just gonna move it slightly closer. Obviously, the intent was for it to be within 3 inches. There's a little bit of wiggle room here with TTS. Not everything is perfect, but the intent was there. So combat specialist. use 4 attacks, right? Oh,
Slow
slow
rolling with.
rolling. So he
Okay,
has to
so
put them onto the drone one at a time. Okay. Or choose which ones he wants to put onto the drone or not. So that's a hit
huh.
there.
So
No
slow
wound.
rolling.
The 2 to
The
wound
2 up.
weapon fails him. Oh, brutal. All right, second attack misses.
Not a hit.
Third attack hits.
He's got a 2+ in him.
Wound is
No!
a 1 again. Absolutely brutal. All right, clearing that out. Fourth
Get
attack.
that
Here we go.
Acothyst is fired.
The fourth attack does not hit. That was a brutal 4 attacks. Maybe he should not have slow rolled those. Ouch.
It just slow rolled the pain, right?
Yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. The Klaivex now coming through. I assume he'll slow roll these as well. He actually should because the wounding on a 6, right, gets him the 3 damage. Is that what it is,
Right.
or what is he? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's the tough thing about the Acothyst. Yeah, you get +2 damage, so you may have 1 3 damage, but it depends
all
on
right.
what order you get them.
First attack fails. Second attack hits. So here's the wound roll.
Needs a 4.
Wanting a 6. Gets the 4. He has wounded. So it's a -3. So that would put him up to a 6 up save here, which is, I believe, what we're going to see. No save. So now he's going to put it off onto the shield drone. I believe. He might be saving the shield drone until he really needs it at the end or for a 3 damage attack. Yeah. Oh, he's passing it to drone. That's interesting.
Didn't make the feel no pain.
No, he did not. So, see, I would have saved that, right? Because you could have put that 3 damage attack. So that's a flesh wound on the drone. So the drone does survive. I would have, I would have waited on that because that was a 1 damage attack. He could potentially, okay, this is the third attack. It does hit. No wound.
He's
Final
got 2
attack.
more.
Oh yeah, he has 5, huh? Gosh, you're right. Okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
this is the
I'm
fourth.
with you. I would have waited to pass that off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine because it survived, right? Okay, he's only got 1 more attack left. These dice are struggling right now. There's the
Oh, there
6.
we
He
go.
wanted that on the wound, but here we go. Oh my
Oh,
gosh. Absolutely
wow.
brutal. Absolutely brutal round of rolling for the combat, for the Acothyst, and for the Klaivex. Yeah.
Those are the units that you really need some melee combat out of, and oof.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially against this crisis, because now, as we discussed, he doesn't have anything to really roll back into it. He doesn't have anything to get into it. Does this Acothyst have any shooting or no?
No, I think
Okay.
it doesn't have a pistol.
Okay.
The crisis hits back.
Dude, they have 3 attacks and they are strength 5, so oh no, 2
Whoa.
attacks because he's sorry, he's not running the leader one, so 2 attacks. So one of them does hit. He wounds. Who was it on? He
He said hit
saves.
back.
He
Oh
saves.
yeah, there you go.
I'm assuming it was
Yeah.
against. I would have put it against the Acothyst, right? Because the other guy's 2 wounds. You wouldn't have been able to get the kill there, but not sure.
Yeah, and the 3 up save versus 4 save. Yeah, you got to put it on the Acothyst.
All right, that appears to be the end. Oh no, this combat. Yes, the Mandrake does have his attacks back onto the Recon drone.
I mean, the Recon drone's attacks were so convincing, we just forgot about the Mandrake.
Yeah. Okay, 3 hit. Wounding on 3s. Oh, only
Ooh.
one. All right.
AP -1. So you've got a 5 up save for the Recon drone,
Yep.
but you got 2 wounds.
2
So
wounds, so he survives no matter what. Yeah. So he's down to 1 wound now, though, which would have been bigger if he had had to potentially put some shots off against it. Yeah, I don't know. His board state is really gonna depend on how Chris navigates this crisis suit, right? I
hmm.
believe he's gotta, considering we're going into turn 3 and he hasn't scored domination yet, points are gonna be hard to come by. So they're both gonna get hold 1 here. Uh, they're only gonna get hold 1. Ryan is going to get kill 1. Ryan will get engage on all fronts again. Chris will not score domination. Neither of them will get bounty hunter. Oh, break test
Break.
for Druhkari.
Where are the wounds?
Wait, yeah, I'm confused.
I do not think there should be a break test at this point.
Oh, he flesh wounded the leader.
Oh, there's no
But
flesh wound marker on the leader.
yeah, it just says 1 flesh wound. But even then, wouldn't it only be 2 flesh wounded and 2 out of action? Wouldn't that be 4? Isn't it 8
Yeah,
models? Don't you have to be over?
yeah, you have to be over.
All right. Well, it didn't matter. We would have brought it up otherwise, I think, because I don't believe there should have been one there. But okay. I think the Nightfiend is fine. I think he's
Yeah.
doing.
Leadership 8.
Yeah. He's got to do it on the Incubus as well. Is it 8 models? 1, 2, 3.
I'm very bad at counting. 1, 2,
Yeah, it
3,
is.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Unless there's another unmarked flesh wound. Yeah, yeah. So I think we still got ourselves a game here. The Drukhari are in a stronger position than than we may have thought at the beginning of the game. But Bearden's still in it. I think. Well, we'll have to see who wins initiative, right? What do you do with that Incubus? I think is the big question. Do you move him to the center to try to keep keep Bearded away from that bounty hunter's token? Do you do you try to charge him into the leader and make sure the leader dies? Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. All right. All good. We are moving into turn 3 now. Yeah. No, I agree. The state of the board. This is really anyone's game at 4 to 5 going into turn 3. Uh, yeah. This is that combat going as bad as it did. Like, mind you, I didn't fully expect the crisis to die, but the drone not going down really helps out Chris as well. Only getting a flesh wound on that. This is. I'm interested to see what happens here. He has nobody to cycle on the crisis. And I mean, over here he can also fall back this Recon Drone because it does have flying and leave this Mandrake just sitting there,
Mhm.
doing nothing. Yeah,
And the Mandrake wouldn't have a shot to fire and fade. So
correct. And it looks like Ryan gets the initiative. Unfortunately, can't really do much for him. I don't want to measure here, but this Mandrake might have a long bomb charge onto the crisis.
that would be a huge charge if he made that, right? You
It
tie up the
would be.
crisis suit. You've got all of your good combat units in there, just ganging up on the crisis suit. Yeah, but that's a long charge to make. That's I'm doing very sophisticated finger measurements. I
Yeah.
bet you need an 8 at least. No decisive move.
No
Okay.
decisive. Okay, so I think again, I don't want to measure right here, right? Like I don't want to give anything away here, but I think that is the move because I think he at least has. I mean, even if it's a long bomb, you're re-rolling. You want to tie up this crisis, right? Like that's most of Chris's firepower there. Plus 3 of your remaining what 6 models would be in combat there, so he wouldn't have shots on him.
The worst thing that happens is you definitely make a 1-inch charge into the Pathfinder leader and you go merge with leader and it's
Yeah,
fine.
absolutely. You put it onto both of them, 100%. Yeah. Um. Yeah. All right. Are we gonna get some measurements in here?
Oh, the Incubus is charging. Oh,
Incubus
there we
has an
go. That's
attempt
the
on it as well, so there you go. But I think that if the
Oh,
Incubus has it, then they definitely both have an attempt here. So he's gonna have
yeah.
2 chances. I kind of feel like I would take the. I mean, I guess the Incubus has more killing potential, right, with the -3. But I would maybe the Mandrake's a little bit shorter. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, he's charging into both the leader and the crisis as we discussed. All right, here we go. These are some big charge rolls.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
is he
the
also going to
play
declare?
everybody, all
Yeah.
y'all.
I mean, he might as well, right?
Yeah. No, nobody can see him. Yeah, so I bet that's why he picked the Incubus instead of the Mandrake. If you get into somebody, anybody, then they can't fire Overwatch on you. Yeah, I'd still want to charge that Mandrake in first, because then if you do, then you can move the Incubus up and hold the middle objective.
Yeah. Although, like you said, yeah, I guess the leader would get Overwatch onto the Mandrake, so he's
Yeah.
declaring,
Well,
yeah, declaring these guys, declaring down
all of
here,
them.
declaring here. This is going to be a big charge, dude. This is, and like we saw, this is an 11-inch charge onto this crisis. So, and I think it's close to like 11 onto those guys too. So, oh, a 7.
7.
Okay, that's not going to get
Ah,
it done. I don't think that gets to anybody, honestly. I don't even think that gets to the
no.
leader, but I'm not
They're
sure.
measuring out to the leader. He's and I don't know, do you reroll a 7? He definitely oh no, he
No,
doesn't
he
definitely
doesn't
make
because
it
it's
into the
two and a
leader.
half up. Yeah, he doesn't definitely. He's got to re-roll it. Yeah, it's 100% a
Yeah.
re-roll. So here we go.
Okay.
Hold on to your butts, people. Ooh,
8.
8. That
I
doesn't do
think
it. That might
I
get the
think he
leader.
makes it into the leader. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's
Just
looking like
barely.
it will make it into the leader, but man, that is brutal. So now it's going to be up to the Mandrake savior if he can get the long bomb charged. All right, so he's in on the leader, and now we're talking about this Mandrake charge, which again I believe he will, onto the leader, onto the crisis. Cross your fingers and hope for the best. Um, yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough position no matter what, right? Because let's say the crisis does get out, he'll have shots on, the Klaivex would be left out there, but now you're talking about. I guess he doesn't need to be out of line of sight, but you're talking about shooting these guys uh, who have already saved against you a lot. So there's not a whole bunch of kill potential there. Okay, he took the bounty and he got in. Did he get in or no?
Yeah, he got in. He just managed to get just 1 inch and take the bounty. Yeah, so that was
I'm trying to
that was a
see
great
because that
move.
doesn't look like it. Looks like he might be out of 1 inch. I'm not sure. Did he get in?
Yeah, but I think that
Okay.
the situation with the crisis suit is exactly the challenge of playing Drukhari against Tau. If he falls back from you, your two best combat units have lost an entire turn. They can't do anything. They have to run off for some cover against all the shooting.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. It's a 10-inch for the Mandrake, and he is declaring on. I would assume both the leader and the crisis here. I think he's hoping that it's hoping that it's
I
10
don't
maybe.
know. I don't know. I don't know.
Measure twice, charge once, as they say.
I'm
So,
zooming in a lot.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, no, no, it's not. It's not
it
making
looks
it.
like
It's
it's just
definitely.
out. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what Chris is measuring, but Chris is just measuring for fun, I guess. Throwing some,
If you took the leisurely the scenic routes.
yeah,
Still though, I mean, if you take out Chris's leader, that's a big blow, even if you don't take out the crisis suit.
yeah. The crisis is, I think, I mean, the kill potential's there, right? It depends on what he has in vision. 7, so that's not going to do it. So he's going to have reroll here. A
But
big
he's
charge.
thinking about something.
Oh, you saw that 6, and I thought he had it. I thought he
Oh.
had it with the 6.
Ah,
No
well, so
luck.
okay, he makes it in wherever he wants to with this Pathfinder leader.
Oh, did he not declare on the leader? He said fails charge. Did he not declare on the leader? Why would he have not declared on the leader?
There's no reason not to declare on the leader.
I agree. But it is appearing as if that is what is happening. And he's just going to take. Huh.
I do not understand. From the chat, incoming Ryan about to measure just in case the 8 gets in. Yes, yes.
Oh, he did not declare the leader as well. Okay. All right.
Huh.
Ryan saying, yeah, I messed up. Okay. Interesting. Shane's going to have something to say about that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
he already said
it's been
awful.
censored in chat.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Uh, interesting. So now this Mandrake is kind of left out there to get shot at. I mean, mind you, Chris would have to do some movement to get shots. Ryan's got to
Ah,
decide what to do with his leader still, and that's about all the options he gets. Everybody else is going to be fallen back from. So turn 3 is going to be a lot of shooting, and then turn 4, I think we're going to see the charges come back in. Oh, man. This is an absolute slog, which is what I would expect from a drone spam list, but we're getting it out of a crisis suit and 3 gunner list. All right. Uh,
my game with Beer did drone spam versus drone spam went on for 3 hours. It was the longest game of Kill Team, and like I thought we were playing quickly, but there was just so much to roll.
oh yeah, so much to roll, so many models to move. That was my first matchup at SoCal Open last year on the open boards. Was me versus another Tau player, and it just ended up in pretty quickly everybody hiding and drones getting blind charges into back lines. Like it was just a bunch of nonsense. All right, he is readying up the Nightfiend leader, leaving him on that objective. Um, hmm. So do you expect Chris to fall back into the center here? I don't. I think he has the movement to do it. He's got the 8 inches.
It gives you 2 points. There's no reason
Yeah,
not to.
yeah,
Well, unless Ryan fires and fades in with the leader,
yeah.
he
I
could do
guess that
that.
is potential there. Uh,
Yeah, that would be a good play. I would save a CP for that because then you can test the objective. You're right in range for charge.
you also can
Um,
test the domination if Chris doesn't move 2
yeah,
models
yeah.
in there. Yeah. Which, to be fair, he doesn't know that he has domination yet. But considering he didn't go drones, so he's not getting models into all the corners, and he's not on the edges to get that. Like you got to expect that domination is the objective that
I
he
mean,
would.
in the back of Ryan's mind, maybe Chris took cut apart for all that drone on drone combat.
Yeah. Uh, Ryan is lucking out right now that Shane is not casting this match because he has some choice words for his co-host over there.
Hey, I don't know. When I play, I have a set of note cards in front of me, and I still forget. I think after SoCal, I nearly tattooed like "Do not spend your last CP, before you can deep strike
Yeah.
on the first round." Like tattooed that under my eyeballs because man, I've done some stupid stuff. It's there's just so much to think about, especially Druhkari have so much going on. You really have to memorize everything and practice a
Yeah.
lot just to stay on top of what they're doing.
Okay, so the Mandrake is deciding to fall back and get onto this objective. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he can just do that, yeah. But, oh man, he
He's
is
gonna get
gonna
lit
get
up.
shot.
He is going to get lit up. Mind you, the
That
recon
Mandrake
won't do
is not
anything for him.
surviving.
Yeah, the recon won't do anything for him here because he's not going to
Oh,
be obscured.
cruel deception, 1 CP, so the Mandrake can shoot now. Okay, we've got a game.
Ooh, okay, okay. Cruel deception. All right. Yeah, like you said, a lot of stuff you got to be aware of and got to know. Ryan had that sitting in his back pocket. Good call. Yes, cruel deception for the chat asking. That is what he used, and it allows him to fall back from combat and still shoot. Is just what I'm assuming here.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I see the hand over the crisis suit. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Baronid goes and gets, maybe 1, at least 1, maybe 3
Yeah.
points.
And he's trying to look at what the charge distances I think will be for next turn. I think is kind of what he's measuring out there, or maybe measuring ranges on stuff that he can shoot. I mean, mind you, from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
center of the board, he doesn't need to see anything for that, and he doesn't have a comms boost now, so he's not going to get any potential boost to his shots. Is going to be hitting on those 4s no matter what, and then potentially 6s if it's something you can't see. Maybe 5s if
It's
it's obscured, or I guess if
it's
it's a Mandrake.
It's unlikely that the leader Nightfiend would be able to take out the crisis suit if he came in the middle. But yeah, he was using measuring am I within half range there.
Okay, the Zealot is deciding to fall back as well. Ryan is falling back with his Klaivex here. Do you think he's going to try to go for the center? Oh no, scratch that. He is not falling back, which is interesting, right? Because the Klaivex is one of those models you could, because you know he doesn't have anything that he can shoot with. There's no reason to keep him. Okay, so he's falling back with combat.
I don't know that that helps or hurts you.
Yeah, I don't know what this does at all here, really.
I mean, I could see falling the Klaivex back towards the middle because that
Yeah,
would give you a couple chances at charges next turn.
yeah. A couple chances at charges plus contest the domination, as we discussed. Mind you, that would leave him to be lit up by these guns. But those are going to be long range shots where he's at right now, compared to if he went to the center of the board. Those would be some pretty open
Yeah,
shots.
no obscurity. Yeah, with that rail rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
See, this is interesting now because there's not really any kill potential here on the Crisis. So Chris is going to take advantage of having this one shield drone, and I think he's going to pop off of like, okay, Crisis, I covered you last turn. I'm jumping over to the leader. I'll jump back to you next turn if I survive. You know, is kind of what looked like Chris was measuring there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. No, I think that would be a good play because that Pathfinder leader is dead if it stays there. There's
yeah,
no way he's saving against an Incubus.
even deader if the Mandrake had charged it.
Even deader. All right, there we go. There we go. Head to the middle. 8-inch fallback.
Picks
Gets
up that
the
bounty.
oh, doesn't get to shoot because he fell back. Oh no,
No, it
fly.
flies. He
Yep.
has fly, man. He's still shooting. He is absolutely still shooting. That is what is. That's why you needed. That's why he needed one of those long bomb charges to connect. He needed to cycle on that guy because now he has fallen back. He has shots. His rails all have shot, or his rail and his ion have shots. Like this is going to be
He's
another.
got shots on everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to be another deadly shooting round for the Tau. And other than
And
that Incubus who's in combat, nobody's going to be hidden from it, right? Because of the way that the airbursting works, which is another reason that that Mandrake really needed to get in, not only for the kill potential on the leader, but for the safety from the shooting. Uh, yeah, this is because I mean, you know, you lose another model here, and it's going to be tough for him to keep up uh, what he's doing, and it's going to be even more tough for him to get some kills here, some much needed kills. Okay, so if this guy falls off here, then this objective is 100% his. I mean, it pretty much was anyway, right? Unless
yeah, yeah.
Chris got some shooting in there, which is potential. But I mean, it makes sense, right? The drone is doing nothing there on its own, other than potentially contesting if Chris gets a kill with shots. But I would move it over there to help the leader out. I would advance it and
Oh,
move it over there to
absolutely.
help the leader out.
I mean, you're gonna lose the shield drone on that one, right? But that's okay.
Potentially, right? Like I said, I've seen some feel no pains go through. I've seen some stuff. They are a 5-up feel no
Yep,
pain,
yep.
so
And he's gonna is he gonna okay, he's gonna fall back the recon drone. Yep. Ready the I can't tell which model's ready. Maybe he's just readying everybody, but yeah, that ooh, yeah,
I
that
think that's
Mandrake's gonna
already on
die
both of
there.
those. Yeah. I mean, it might, right? Chris could see a turn of bad dice here. He doesn't have any way to buff himself other than using the sniper tactic, so he's automatically hitting on fives because of the innate -1 for the Mandrake. So, you know, it's not guaranteed dead Mandrake. Nothing's guaranteed about Tau shooting ever.
Yeah, but also nothing's guaranteed about Mandrake saves either.
True. Huh. That's interesting. That's something I hadn't thought about. Chris is looking at his shield drone now. He could potentially tie up both of these models, could he not? If that's something he wanted to do. I mean, I guess it'd be protecting them from shots, but it would also be potentially surviving and keeping them from charging into anything turn 4 if you were able to tie up
that's a
these.
lot of hits to take with one flesh wound.
It is, it is. But he has the 4-up invul and he has the 5-up feel no pain. It's just a thought. Like I said, I think the best move, which he's not doing, would be to advance it and bring it over here to protect his leader. But
He'd
he's
have to get a
just
pretty good advance roll though.
we'll measure that after. I don't think he'd need the best advance roll. They do have 8 inches movement base.
Yeah.
All you have to do is get it within 3 inches of the leader. We'll measure it once they get to the shooting phase when it doesn't matter. See, this is, I guess if he moves it over here, he makes sure he secures himself from the fire and fade to take his domination. But I don't know. He's not protecting the. He's not protecting the crisis from anything, right? So he gets
Here
a
we go.
5
Drone
on the
advance.
advance. Yeah, he gets the 5 on the advance. That's okay.
Huh.
Not where I would
Yeah.
have moved it, but you
Well, it
know,
makes sure that he gets the domination, unless
it
he puts it over there.
no, it's going to secure the domination no matter what.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
However, it does. I mean, it creates. I don't know. So now he loses the leader, which frees up the Incubus, which means now you have an Incubus, a Mandrake, an Acothyst, and a Klaivex who can charge you next turn, right? Shooting
Yeah,
phase.
that's not the least scary proposition.
See, I think he could have gotten over to him. He would have needed like an 11, I think, and he got the 5. I think he could have moved over there. Would have been interesting, but not what he decided to do. So,
Well, but hey, Byrne isn't making this list work, so I have
oh,
nothing to say. You
whoops!
know.
I didn't realize he left.
Yeah. Right. Ryan fled the field of battle after being fallen back from.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a different thing to be up here, right? Like we look at this and we can see I also have mentioned a few times is that I feel like, and I don't know, you can comment on this as well as somebody who's been to major tournaments in person. How do you feel about your board sense on Tabletop Simulator? I feel like my board sense is 100 times worse on Tabletop Simulator. You can move all around, you can look at different things, but it's not the same as walking around a board. Also, I'm looking at a screen. I'm not physically touching any models. I've got a second screen where I generally have like a Twitch stream going or something. I've got a cat that can jump into my lap. I've got, a girlfriend who can call me. I've got all these other distractions going on that my board sense just feels completely destroyed in Tabletop Simulator compared to at an in-person tournament where I'm locked in, I'm focused, I can see the board, I can lower my head, I can move myself around it in a more 3D space. Do you feel like you find that struggle here on Tabletop Simulator or not so much? Because I was just going to say it's easy to sit up here and look down, but as a player maybe you don't see some of those things that you would normally see if you were in our position, of course.
I miss a lot of line of sight things on
Yeah.
Tabletop Simulator, which you wouldn't expect because you're looking at it. I can look at it top down, and I should be able to see. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Also, I think I care about my models. I put time into painting them. I like them, and I think I just play better when I have my models.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't say that I put much care into my 3 color minimum models, but I do love them and I do love being I magnetized all my drones so they stick to their stands. Like
Nice,
I do,
nice.
I took some care in them, but it's also I much prefer being at a physical table. I think we all do, right? But this is, what we have at the moment. So
And
Nightfiend
also,
is going to
yeah,
shoot here, so he's deciding on a target.
there's also that connection with the opponent. I mean, I'm not the most social person, but I really love the interaction with the opponent, and it's very hard to do that over voice.
Yep. All right, looks like he is shooting at the Ion Sniper here. Okay, so Nightfiend is going to shoot at that Ion Sniper.
Long range and obscured, so I'm expecting
Sixes, yeah.
fives.
He said sixes here.
Oh, because he's the leader's got a flesh wound on him.
Yeah, yep, you are correct. He does. One flesh wound, all right. Looks like he's maybe looking at that drone now as an option. Not sure. Changing to
Drone's got
shield
a
drone, yeah. Okay. I
yeah,
mean, the drone's got a flesh wound, and the invul
yeah.
doesn't really matter so much, but you want to take it out so you can potentially kill the crisis next turn. But I almost feel like that's not a totally a part of his. Well, no hits there. Unless, wait, no, it's not obscured, and I don't know if it's long range, so that might be. It's 2 hits. Okay, there you go.
No mortal wound, but those are definitely wounds. So
Two
he's
wounds
got
here, 2 4-ups, and then 2 5-ups if he needs them. Oh, didn't get either of those, so he's going to need 2 5-ups here, or we are going to an injury roll. Oh, almost. When I saw that dice hit this, this feels like it's affecting these dice rolls. This little wall here. But yeah, so I've deleted those walls every time I've played, so I haven't had that issue. But yeah, and he is out of action. All right, the shield drone is gone. So it's one more model off the board, plus that takes away any kind of safety that his crisis will have next turn. Although, mind you, we do still have the recon back here with 1 wound that can zoom up there and get in to help his crisis buddy out potentially. Yeah, this is. All right, so shield drone goes down, and now we're going to get some shots back from Chris from his readied models. So he's got his sniper, and he's got his regular rail. Let's see where he decides to take those shots.
I mean, you got to kill the Mandrake that's right in front of you.
Yes and no, right? Like he's there, but he's not doing anything. He's not contesting that objective. Whereas if you
Yeah.
kill the leader, who's already flesh wounded, all right, well, neither of those hit. So he's definitely okay. And so the recon buff is gone now. So you just have the sniper to go, who can use his sniper tactic if Chris wants to. Okay, he's just going to shoot that guy. Now he would be hitting on fives here. I'm wondering if he's going to use that to bring it down to fours. Does he use the tactic? All right. It's not looking like he is.
But
Okay.
he's overcharging. I like
Overcharging.
it.
All right. Well, wouldn't he have to do D3 shots first? Yeah, I think he screwed that up. Okay. And he gets the 3 shots. Wait, what? Did
Is
he
he
not?
slow rolling them?
I'm confused. I thought it wasn't it. Isn't it D3 or am I crazy?
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
it's heavy
D3.
D3 overcharge.
Oh, okay.
I'm confused there, but I'll let them do what they do. Maybe he did I not see the roll? Sniper overcharging. He rolled a 1 and a 2 like he just took 2 shots. If he were overcharging, it would have to be D3 shots. So he did that incorrectly, but we've moved past it. The save was made. It wasn't an issue where it came down to a kill. So, yeah.
That's a lucky Mandrake.
Yeah. Lucky
Well, I guess
Mandrake.
it still has to get past the recon drone. The the
Yeah.
the, the killy recon drone
The
who's
recon drone who
got.
murdered his best friend. Yeah. All right. Let's see what goes on here. Is he. I don't know that he's shooting with the recon drone yet. I don't think that Ryan has any shots though, right? It might be going. He might do the crisis first. I don't know what's going on. Oh no, he still has. Ryan has shots with this Mandrake, right? But those were readied shots, so now it would go to first normal shots, which I believe would be Ryan's Mandrake. Yes, okay, correct. And he's going to take it into the recon drone. All right. That's interesting.
I would
Because
have
that's
split the shots
toughness.
into
That's
the
toughness
two.
4 though, isn't it? 2.
Yeah.
So won't that make it 4s to wound rather than 3s to wound against the? But I guess they would just put it off onto the drone anyway, right? So
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I still think you go for the better wound. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would split the two shots between the two
Yeah, you could
Pathfinders.
have
Then
done
he's got
1 and
a.
1. You're right. Yeah. Okay, Mandrake is at a -1. Chris is using System Jammer. Another tactic that's not normally used because you have to be close enough to jam them. So he does jam him out of 1 attack, and he does not wound. Now in that case, he rolled a 1 anyway, so it wasn't like he rolled a 3 that would have wounded against one of the Pathfinders or anything like that. But still a tough break there with those 2 shots. Not sure. I can look it up right now. I can't recall because I don't use it that often. What that tactic, what the distance is, but I'm pretty sure you have to be. Maybe it's only within 12 inches, but I don't use it that often because I'm generally using it to get kills. My CP. Let's see here. Tau kill team. It's not even one of their original tactics. I'd have to check the check elites, I think, or the kill team manual. But anyways, so that's all the shots. It's going to come down to Chris's crisis suit now. Is going to get
Okay, this
to.
this isn't too bad. Neuroweb system jammer within 12 inches of model from your kill team.
Okay, yeah, 12 inches. So you can be close enough. There are a lot of instances where I wouldn't be because I try to keep my rails 15 inches away from everything at all times, exactly 15 inches away. But yeah, so it's not terrible. It works in certain situations. I don't know how necessary it was here. If I were Chris, I maybe would have wanted to save that CP, but especially because I know he'd probably want to do baited trap again next turn. Yeah, I don't know.
Because that leader's not surviving.
Yeah,
All right, the recon drone, the stone cold killer.
he gets 3, and
Oh, is he hitting on sixes?
Oh yeah, the Mandrake is an innate -1, and he doesn't get the wound. I forgot it's the innate -1 because it's a 5 and
Yeah.
then it would go to 6 for the Mandrake. Yeah, I was thinking he had 3 hits there.
Yeah, from the chat, Shane asks about Fire and Fade. Yeah, Fire and Fade would have been a great thing to do because you're not going to hold that objective. You could move back into the center, and then that would cost Bearded 2 points.
Would have cost Bjorn the objective, and it would have cost him domination as well. So yeah. All
All
right.
right, the big guns are coming out.
Crisis into leader. So 2 shots. Doesn't hit either.
Oh,
All right.
he still has 2 more
He
tries.
does. He has 2 more guns. Second gun going into the leader as well, I believe. 4 shots this time. But again, these are on 5s. He's got 1. Wounding on 3 here. Wait,
What?
is he obscured somehow? I am confused here. I thought that would have hit, but maybe not.
Hmm.
So he gets to reroll that 1, and he's already got 2 hits there, it looks like. So 3 hits.
I think he
Only
has
2? Is he hitting on 6s? Why is he hitting on 6s?
that doesn't make sense. Is he long range?
No, I don't believe so. Maybe he is.
No, I don't think so.
I'm confused, but they are. I'm not going to intervene
Oh,
here. I could, we could be missing something. Rerolls the save, gets the
oh,
save.
that was big.
That was very big. So the leader survives. The objective remains. Yeah. I'm a little bit confused on what was going on there. Let's measure some range here. No, see, it's not long
Yeah,
range. It's an 18-inch weapon. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. The Crisis doesn't have any flesh wounds. Ballistic skill 4 would go to 5s. I don't know why those 5s didn't hit.
maybe he was calling him obscured. That's a little
I
difficult to believe from the
he's
tip of the gun.
yeah,
Ah, there
there
we
should
go.
be a
We
plus
screwed
one.
up.
I don't think I don't know what they're gonna do about that though, but I was just trying to see. We were trying to figure out.
I mean, there were three fives that we saw. There's 1 5 the first time, and there were I think 2 5s the second time.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure it out. I think he would have had 2 and then 3. I think it would have been. I don't know. It would have been. He would have had at least. I think. I don't know.
Ah,
I don't.
the chat came up with a great idea. Did he have lightning fast reactions?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
The Chari tactic that puts everybody else at -1. No, but that would have been a great idea for us to have brought up.
He's saying reroll 1 on last 2 guns, but that's not okay. That's they think that he missed rerolling 1s, but I believe he rolled 2s. So I don't think there was any of that. I don't know what that. Okay, that was a roll for a save, I think, and he made it. Not 100% sure on what's going on here, but I believe that Crisis should have been hitting. Again, this is a situation where I'm not 100% sure. I don't see any way zooming in here that he would be obscured from this Crisis, correct?
No, yeah, I
Absolutely
don't.
none. Yeah, not sure. No lightning blast. Okay, they're going into fight phase. That's something we'll have to bring up later. Players miss rules or you know, uh, do
It,
things
it,
incorrectly.
it,
It happens. So
it was my second Tau game that someone told me that drones now have a 4-up save because I was looking at the original book.
that's the
So
original
I
book.
have
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have no place to talk.
yeah. No, I mean that's stuff like that happens. So here we go. The attacks from the Incubus. Those all hit.
Oh no!
Those all wound. So there's no saves there. So you're just gonna get a single damage out of action roll here.
I'm holding my breath.
That's a 5. That's a dead leader. All right.
Yeah, Shane in chat says, I shudder to imagine the amount of terrible mistakes that go on at your average tourney table. Yeah, this is one of the things I try to do when I'm playing is I try to say everything that I'm doing out loud. It's not that I think it's entertaining for people to watch, but more it's I want my opponent to know exactly what mistakes I may or may not be making, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Put it out there and say it. I like to do that too before a match, talk about the terrain, make sure everybody understands everything so there's no gotcha moments. little things like that, which again is part of that interaction with your opponent across the table that we're missing here. But wow, okay, so leader dead. Why are the Drukhari
Nope.
taking a break test? I'm so confused. Why? Again, I don't think he should have taken it last turn. I'm confused. Am I missing something? There are 2 models dead. He has 2 flesh wounds.
I'm asking. Click, click, click. Yeah, and in chat, yes, the consolidation in for the bounty hunter token was missed.
I'm not sure here. Because again, I didn't think that he was supposed to take it last turn, but they did it. So I'm not 100% sure.
The Incubus has a flesh wound. The Nightfiend
Yes, has
leader
one
has a flesh wound.
and then there's
That's the only
Venom.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the greatest at math, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Not 100% sure here.
Oh, yes. In chat, he cannot consolidate in to get the bounty hunter token because that would be away from the closest model.
Ah, you are correct because the model at the center of the board. So he'll probably move in and take that with the Mandrake, right? And then charge in with the Incubus. Chris scored domination there. They are doing scoring, so I believe they have skipped that break test. And mind you, he passed it last turn, so it didn't come into effect, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
you've got a 9. The chances are, I don't remember the math, but it's low.
he is doing the shaken test now, which he's passed one of them. I think that was his leader. That's what Ryan rolled there. And then he's got to do a second one.
Yeah, I should amend my statement. The other thing I save CP for Druhkari are auto passing break nerve tests in rounds 3 and 4.
Yeah, yeah.
If I don't do it, I always regret it. You got to save that CP.
I know. It comes down to it, and it's the end of the turn, and then you're rolling for it, and you're like, "Oh, why didn't I think to save that one CP?" When you told yourself at the start of the turn too, you're like, "I need to save that," right? And then in the flow of the battle, you just forget and lose it. So, all right, Chris goes back up to 2 CP because he still had 1 left, so his leader's gone, so he only gets the 1. And yeah, all right, we are going into turn 4. Here's initiative. Ooh, okay. Drukhari
Ooh.
win that initiative. So yeah, we are going to see a charge here, and I assume we are going to see baited trap. They might be discussing. I don't think Chris can spend for decisive here. Not that there's anything that I really think of that he would do, right? But yeah, no
There's
decisive.
also prudent retreat for 1 CP. You can Overwatch and then you can retreat, which maybe
Yes,
I'd take that for the crisis suit.
potentially, right? Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's actually a really good thought there. You get a chance to kill some people, and then you also get to fall back. Out of that combat and out of their way. But at the same time, if he falls back, then he loses domination, right? And he's definitely going to lose the objective game here on this turn. And he's already down by 2 points. So he needs to hold that domination.
It looks like he might try to hold the objective by facing off against a Mandrake with 2 Pathfinders. Ooh,
See,
that's
yeah, I would want to get the drone in there again, but at the same time, I think he's thinking he's got to get that drone to the center of the board to protect. Okay. Oh no, the Mandrake is charging into the 2 rails. Okay. Overwatch and Recon does for greater good as well, and the 2 Pathfinders are going to Overwatch. So he's going to absorb 8 shots here.
maybe he can do it.
Now I'm wondering. Okay, he's going to declare the drone as well, so no for greater good. Uh,
But still, it's still 8 shots.
so
All
he
right, that
gets the
was
charge.
rail rifle.
Yeah, that's one of them. See, now I'm wondering. See, like this is the thing, right? Uh, this is a situation where he gets to reroll that one. Uh, nothing. This is a situation where this is where I feel like baited trap is strong, right? Because you've got the rail, they can do some real damage. Mind you, he's got the 5-up invuln, so it's tough as well. But
But you're wounded on 2s.
yeah, no, it you would definitely secure you a kill. But two
Just
of those you have
reroll
to
2 of
reroll.
them.
Yeah,
Ooh.
nothing. All right, so that Mandrake is getting into combat with those boys. He
In the
gets it.
chat, creative ways to waste command points.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta find him somewhere. He is. I'm 100% sure he's saving that 2 CP for. I mean, he might do the prudent, like you said. But I would assume that he's gonna do baited again. And I just don't. I don't know if you can rely on that for a kill. Mind you, he's getting 3 guns on every single guy, right? And it works for the whole
Hmm.
phase. So it's not just the one single charge. If he gets a kill, it's gonna be on the next guy too, and the next guy, and the next guy. This
Yeah,
is
I see that
bizarre,
play.
right? I guess he's trying to tie up the drone here. And I guess with a kill, as long as he makes it so one is closer than the other, he could move back onto that objective. But, huh.
I don't know
Yes.
that you need to tie up the drone.
Yeah, I think the thought is maybe he wants to tie it up so it can't get to the center of the board to save, but I don't know. I feel like you just go in on those Pathfinders. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it
You're gonna
looks like.
murder him.
Looks like
Okay.
that's what he's gonna do. I mean, there would have been the potential, right? I guess to fight it and then move on to the objective, or fight one of the Pathfinders and then move on to the objective, because it'd be whatever the closest model is, as long as you had. I don't know if you could get all 3 of them in there, though. Yeah.
I don't know if you need to charge into the crisis suit at this point, though.
I mean, you're right, right? It's not that deadly, and it's hitting on sixes otherwise.
And you're just
And
gonna
he's
sit
got
there
the
and
objective.
yeah, take the objectives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The Klaivex makes sense. You can make that
Klaivex does.
charge.
Yeah. And all right. So let's see. Does he do, or does he save it for rerolls? Is he going to use the 4 ups again? Is he going to use the prudent? What's he going to do? So now the thing about the prudent is if he does it, he can't use it on everybody. Yeah, 2 CP for baited trap. All right, here we go again. So first gun onto the Klaivex. D6. 2.
Ooh.
Ugh. Ugh.
Not killing an incubus. Yeah, Klaivex like that.
Does get a wound, or no, a hit there rather. Sorry, this is the wound here. Does not wound. All right. 1 now. Oh god, the D6.
Ooh.
I
This
hate
is
it.
what you were saying.
I
Yeah.
hate it. This is the brutality of this. Like if you're rolling sixes all the time, it's great, but it's unlikely that you are here. All right, so that's a no hit there.
Yeah. That's the trouble.
Or is that 2
At one point,
shots? Maybe that
I
one
think
was
that's the
something
third
else.
gun. Yeah. Okay. So he gets 1 hit and he's re-rolling.
Oh, maybe that's what he rerolled before was the one he rerolled. All right, so this is a hit here. He gets a save here, right?
Mm-hmm. 3 up.
Oh, he doesn't
Oh.
make it. So he
Oh.
has to reroll. He has to. Oh no, it's just 1 wound. Oh, is he gonna reroll
It's.
it anyway? Okay.
I would not be re-rolling that
Yeah,
one.
because it's only 1 wound. He's fine,
Yeah.
right? That was the
Yeah. He's
interesting.
fine.
Okay, so he wait, what? Oh, that was the feel no
Oh,
pain. Okay,
gotcha.
so he rerolled the save and then he rolled the feel no pain. Um, okay, but that was the third gun. Oh no, that was the second gun. Okay, so this is where I would have saved the reroll for, right? You would have saved the
Spirit
reroll
is
for the.
disconnected. Oh no.
Okay.
His moment of
Yeah,
triumph.
but right, let's talk about this, right? So for that situation there, you save that reroll for when it counts for a kill, correct? Because it's only a 1 damage weapon. You let that one go through, then you're at 1 wound, right? Am I
I think
correct?
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, because especially if he's got another crack at it. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I mean, if you get that charge in, it's not like your crisis suit is gonna. Well, maybe murders the Klaivex. It seems unlikely. You've got the 3 up saves still.
yeah. I don't know. Oh, that's
No, but
worrisome.
it took me a while to figure that out though. Oh, I have 2 wounds. I can just let it go. I don't have to. I don't have to make sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Bjorn says, keep cursors away from dice rollers. Yes.
Okay. I'm pretty sure if I had rolled it, it would have said that we rolled it, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I can actually interact with anything on the board. So, go back. Do you like the airburst after seeing the airburst gun on this throne? Do you like that more than the three flamers?
So you've got range, you've got the ability to shoot people that you can't see, but I don't like it because it's D6 and then you still have to hit. It's not D6 auto hits. And there's another 2 out of gun 3. One hits and he gets a reroll on the other.
Yeah, this dice roller, it's positioned just to screw with you with that top
He'll
dice.
hit here, so he's got a wound roll. Yeah, I know. Does not wound.
Oh,
So the Klaivex will be charging in now. So the
and
reroll
it's
didn't
making
come
it.
into reroll didn't come into effect. Yes, he is 100% making it. Ah, that's brutal. 2 of his guns only shot twice. See, that's what I'm saying is 2 of them only shot twice, and then they aren't auto hits. Now, in this case, obviously the Flamer would have done work against the Klaivex, right? But if that's the
Oh yeah,
case, then he would have just charged with somebody who was out of range of the Flamers, right? Like,
but
so the
yeah,
Flamer
but
helps you against the Klaivex, but then he just charges in either of these guys or that guy, anybody who's outside of 8 inches. Okay, which
but
he
then
isn't.
you have to be rolling an 8 on a charge, which is
When
it's
you're
not impossible,
re-rolling
but it's not.
charges, though,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
free, when you're re-rolling them for free as a Druhkari player, I don't know. I definitely like the Flamer more than the Airbursting, but I understand the approach Chris was taking with the Airbursting here. Like I said, I talked to him about it. I did not think it was the best option in the world, but I felt like it was an option that he had on his roster. He
Oh,
didn't
definitely, definitely.
he didn't have the your normal go-to rail drone spam on the roster. The only sniper he had was the Ion. The only other rail he had that was a specialist was his comms, things like that. So he didn't have. But I don't know. I feel like you look back at this, right? The crisis survived. The crisis got one kill turn one, correct? It killed a Mandrake.
Hmm.
Even with the air bursting, I think it's still 42 points or something up there.
43 points.
Okay,
Yeah.
43 points. So you're looking at 43 points to kill one Mandrake and survive, but he wasn't even surviving where you needed him to survive in the center to get domination. So this model has not, even if it survives this round, has not paid for itself in points. Whereas if you take that 43 divided by 7, turn that sucker into 6 drones, imagine what you could do. You could have done domination. You could have gone all fronts. You could have gone like that's. I would have done the double positional and the single kill here rather than the bounty and the death rate. I that's what I would have done. But again, it's not to say that this wouldn't have worked. That turn one, this was looking really good for the Tau. It just he
Yeah,
struggles.
Baronet had a great turn one. Everything you did worked out. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the all-in thing that he was going for, and he wasn't able to. I think maybe one more kill, because then then these break tests would have had to have happened these last 2 turns, or one more flesh wound even, something. But yeah, it's just it's getting difficult now. I don't think he
Yeah.
makes it in there on that. He's just out, and if he had not dropped the model, he could have remeasured that at a more direct angle than he did, because I think he could have come in more direct from this way. But maybe they'll call him in. I don't know what they're going to do. That is one thing about TTS. You never want to drop those models. You want to hold on to them so you can press escape and bring them back to where they need to be, kind of thing. But all right, he made it.
Yeah.
They're going to give it to him.
Yeah, one thing I miss about physical boards is I have a couple of sticks. Like I have an 8-inch stick of flaming that I take, and I know exactly who's in flamer range and not
Yeah.
in flamer range. And
Now did
you can do the same thing with a 1-inch ruler and just like make sure that you're in there and things like that. Yeah,
yeah. Did
makes
you
everything
ever
so much faster.
Oh, so he's not gonna did he charge with the Incubus and fail? He must have failed. I don't know.
I think that's just left over.
I don't want to bring it up in case he forgot it, I guess. But yeah, I'm not sure about that Incubus because Chris is moving now and there's a charge token here. There's no way for me to scroll up in chat. Doesn't look like it. Looks like I can make it bigger, but um Yeah, I don't know. He might have failed there. He failed, or he forgot to move it in, or decided not to move it in. I'm not 100% sure because I would have liked more kill potential onto this crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At the beginning, we were talking about randomizing objectives and how it makes you think on your feet and things like that.
yeah,
There's so many mistakes that I make in a tournament. I feel like doing well in a tournament is partially just not screwing up. If you can just not screw up, you are at such an advantage because you remember all your stuff. You get all the bonuses
yeah,
you thought you were going to get.
yeah. He makes the mortal. He gets the mortal wound again with the Nightfiend. Now I'm interested here. Is he within? He's within one of both of these, right? I believe he is. I don't
Yeah,
think he would have left one out of combat. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Just making sure. So he put the mortal on him, uh, and he killed it. He just rolled the out of action. He got a 6 there. So that Recon Drone is dead, and this is looking all but secured for the Druhkari at this point, because you have one objective that is definitely going to become contested because this Mandrake is going to kill one of these guys. I have to assume, right? And then
absolutely.
you've got the potential for this guy to die in the center. Yeah, this is. I get again where Chris was approaching from, and I was excited to see it get put onto the board, and he got those early kills. It just fell off, right? And again, the airbursting, the only thing that it did was kill one Mandrake. And that's the even if you threw what 3 cyclic ion on there, right, at 125 points. I know some people have done that. I've been playing around with that. You have a more killy weapon, but you're still talking about how expensive this model is, 46, 52, whatever kind of points you're looking at. And if it does not kill its weight in points or score you its weight in objectives, then it's not doing its job. Whereas those 6 drones, 7 drones, can get it done. All right, here's the Zealot combat phase. Those all hit because we are hitting on 2s now, and he's going to slow roll these for the potential 3 damage.
Yeah, one of the things about the expensive models, I wish they were a little more usable. I feel like there's some of them that are like was it the D Scythe for the Eldar is great. I think the Grotesque for the Drukhari is great, but a lot of them are just I just can't see
The
taking that.
the Lich Guard obviously is point costed
Oh
very
yeah,
well for what it does at 2 wounds. Uh,
Crisis takes a wound down to 1 wound for the Crisis suit. I hope it gets a chance to swing back, and I hope it. Man, like Bjorn could turn this around if he just murders everyone with the Crisis suit in close combat. That would be a
yeah,
like a dream. Yeah, but I wish there were I wish there were a second good build for Tau where you said I don't need to take 20 drones in my list.
yeah. No, I agree. I love it. There's a lot of cool units that I would love to use. Breachers for one in Arena. I wish they were like had something cool to them, like an extra toughness or an extra bonus to their save or like something like that. All right, we have a 6-up save being made by this Crisis. Gets the 5-up.
Oh,
So that's the 3 damage one too, I think, right? Is that what he made there? Was that wound?
I think that might have been 3 damage. Yeah. Yep.
Yep, it was. Here's the out of action roll. And he doesn't get it.
Oh,
Uh,
that command point is getting spent. Spend that command
yeah, I
point.
believe he
There
will.
we
There we
go.
go. All
Okay.
right. And that is the
There
crisis
we
suit
go.
out.
There we go.
And that about wraps up this game. Um, yeah, you still have the kill potential over here to take hold one from Chris. So we'll see how that goes.
Have you tried breachers with the ignore half range penalties or yeah, the long range penalty?
I've seen people do that and I've looked at it and it just doesn't feel when you look at it, right? It just doesn't. Why not do drones with ignore? You know what I mean? Like it's just they're just
Yeah.
better bodies because they can fly and they can, and like I know those weapons are kind of okay. I wish that they kind of worked like shotguns more, or they had some kind of thing that like that 5-inch profiled auto hits or something like that, right? Because you're so close. Like that would make them kind of cool because you'd have to play this like tactically interesting game where you're getting in very close, so you're giving up charges, but you're also auto hitting them like with these more powerful weapons. Like there'd be some give and take there, just something, I don't know, to make them more interesting. But them and Fire Warriors are just very uninteresting. Yeah. I don't know what is going on. I've had new roommates move in, not roommates, neighbors downstairs, and there was a family with 3 kids living there before. Never heard a peep. Now there's 3 guys living down there. It sounds like they're boxing the walls. Like literally, my floor is shaking. They're below me. I think they should hear me if I'm stomping around, but I don't think I should be able to hear them. Like I don't. I have no idea what's going on right now. It's absolutely insane. All right.
It's the drum roll. How many models is the last Mandrake going to take out?
Yeah.
Will it be a clean sweep? I haven't seen a clean sweep since I played Death Watch.
Well, the gunners are fighting back. It looks like the Mandrake didn't get any kills, I guess.
Oh, huh.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah. I think they were both on a 6 there. They didn't get anything. So yeah, the Mandrake didn't kill anybody. So Chris will get his hold 1 here, but it's just not going to be enough. He lost domination. He's not going to be able to pick up any more of these. He had a token here. Tau break test. Highest leadership is 7.
That's not a break test you want to be taking.
Yeah.
Oh,
he survived it. Again,
it was so close.
Yeah.
That wall.
Shane in chat. I always knew Ryan was gonna win, guys. I never doubted him for a second.
I do give Bernard a lot of credit for not just taking all of the drones. I feel like I'm really glad I watched this play out, even if it was perhaps not the optimal list for winning. It was a good list for an enjoyable, like, oh, like what's gonna happen with that game.
Yeah. Definitely interesting. Made for an interesting battle. Was realistically close through the first 2 turns, right?
Oh yeah.
And even at the end here, it looked like once that turn 3 went the way it did, that there wasn't a whole lot that could be done to come back from. Had that Overwatch gone through, like maybe the those guns hit a bit more, and that Klaivex after using that failed reroll, if he has to go to another roll and he fails a save, then you get that the hitting on 4s on another 3 guns on another model. But like Shane said in the chat earlier, is that airbursting against these models, these specific models, just it's not gonna really get the job done.
The other thing that's tricky about Drukhari, and I guess any close combat team, is that they are. I mean, Drukhari, yes, they get better as the game goes on, but also they get in more close combat, which is where your Incubus models are really going to do their damage. So it's not surprising that something looks close in the first two rounds, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of combat and you lose a bunch of people, and it was over in round 3. It's just it takes a while to set up the Drukhari.
All right, looks like they have wrapped it up, and that is the end. The final score being 16-9. The Drukhari and Shane from Command Point take it. Let's jump over to their room in Discord and have a chat.
Okay.
All right.
They're in here with us.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Hey, going good.
Dude.
Wow. So everybody, us, chat, everyone, Chris, when we saw that muster, my mind exploded.
I figured.
You have discussed quote unquote elite Tau many times. I think that's the closest you've gotten to putting it on a board. And it was interesting, and I felt like, and I said at the start, you really needed a turn 1. You really needed to destroy some stuff turn 1. You did really well turn 1. You went full offensive. You think you took out 2 models and you flesh wounded another.
Yeah.
What were you thinking with this muster, just so everybody else can kind of understand?
So you and I had been talking about going positional, but the way that Drukhari works, they just pick up so much steam in the later game that they would run away with the game, right? Like once they get in on drones, they're safe from shooting, and they're just getting really good on stuff, So it really eliminates what they can do. So my whole thing was I needed to go max offensive in turn 1, and so I just took everything that was like good offense that I had: the Recon Drone, all 3 of the gunners, and the Crisis. Just trying to go for as much off the board and flesh wounds as I could. And we thought we had him to a break test turn 1 because there was the 2 flesh wounds, 2 out of actions or something like that.
It was turn 2, I believe, right? Was that you
Okay.
took? Yeah, you.
I
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
we had him taking it really, really early, and then we realized that he had 8 models, not 7.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that was the whole thing is, they just pick up so much steam that if I let them get in on objectives, then they're just going to run away with the game. They're going to be hitting on twos before you know it. They're making all those long bomb charges. They're denying Tau shooting, which is their whole thing. Tau have to shoot. They have to be getting Overwatch and all that stuff to make up for the missing offensive phase that Tau have as it is. They don't have a fight phase. They have to get 2 shooting phases. So it was just like, with Druhkari, you're -1 to hit. I knew we'd be taking a bunch of Mandrakes, and between long range, obscured, the -1 base, and a tactic for another -1, it's a lot of hitting on 6s, and I just knew it was like I needed so many 6s to be there that I was just like trying to roll max offense, and I wanted it to be like wounding on 2s where possible, which the gun drones and stuff aren't going to do.
Yeah.
So it was like the rails, the ion, the breacher on the thing. Now, I was tempted to go guns, but I mean, the fact of the matter is I took this roster and I just kind of decided, I got to sleep in the bed I made, basically. Like I wanted to try this roster and, give it its fair due. Like rather than forcing a less optimal drone span because I don't have the third rail, it's actually an ion.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, and then it was part shield, part guns. Like I wasn't like great in either way. I just figured rather than force a less optimal thing, I would do my best with what I had, and
Now,
get that offense.
one other question I had for you, Chris, and then I'll see if Alec has anything he wants to join in is uh putting the comms over here rather than putting the comms with your sniper.
Hmm.
Was there thoughts with that? Did you just want to keep him with your crisis for the bonus to
Yeah.
your okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I figured, Recon over here is going to be doing stuff. So it's like both sides had a drone and both sides had an offensive buff.
Okay.
But I can't put a Recon drone buff on the Crisis.
Correct.
It's only on Pathfinders. So
Yeah.
I had to keep, that over there and then went over there.
Mhm.
I didn't know how things were going to go with his deep strikes. And so
For
I wanted
sure.
to keep things like pushed up, really, really hard. And yeah, I didn't know if I was going to get a shooting phase, if he was going to charge and get in. Just stuff like that. So I was trying to keep it open. And I had domination, which I meant to be working towards earlier, but stuff just didn't go as planned over here, right away, going into turn 2. So, yeah, this was meant to go different over here, but is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a really close game into those first 2 turns. Alec, you got anything you'd like to ask our competitors?
Yeah, Bernard, you had 4 XV8 crisis suits. What in retrospect, which ones worked well? Which ones would you take again? Which ones did you think that didn't actually work out for me?
Well, I'm still undecided. A big part of why I took Crisis is because I expected to go against Harlequins. I knew Tom La Rochelle was running a lot of Harlequins at the time. He was scary. I knew Alfonso Reinecke. He has taken like top 8s and stuff in Europe and is a really good Harlequin player. And there was just like a lot of scary Harlequins that Tau do not deal well with. And there's when I played this packet in Spain, I realized that there's a lot of deceptive out of LOS bits. Like I don't know if you guys can see the map, but like these little corners here on the towers, or like if I'm up here, he can get to like back here. I can't see him. If I'm towards over here I can't see him. If I'm over here, he can be right here, and I can't see him. So I had 2 of the Crisis are in there specifically for Tau. It's just that when the deadline was due for roster submission, I wasn't quite sure if I wanted the 2 with the buff that they can take to make them reroll all failed hits in Overwatch, or if I wanted to just go for the 3 airbursting fragmentation projectors.
Yeah.
So the conundrum was, do I have better normal shooting phase or better Overwatch? And I was unable to decide before roster submission deadline. So that's 2 of the crises right there. And then one was an anti-elite build, which was the cyclic ion build. And then the other one was a really elite, like if I went against Tyrannid spam, I knew that Optimura was going to be taking Tyrannids, and a 3 Flamer Crisis against 20 Gaunts is just going to be really nasty. So I had that in there. And then last minute, I was talking to Micromancer, and he was like, yeah, they could still blind charge you. And I was like, you're right. So I dropped 1 Flamer on that build, put in a airbursting fragmentation projector, and went to 2 Flamers, 1 ABFP. on that one.
Nice.
So that's the story of the Crisis and why they are what they are so far. So there's Elite, there's anti-Harlequin, and then there's anti-chaff spam.
Very cool. All right, let's get a question in here for our winner, Ryan.
Yes.
Were you expecting anything like the muster that you got?
Absolutely not. I actually did some prep earlier this day, and I literally wrote expected opposing kill team, and I had down like the Pathfinder leader, obviously, one of the crisis suits, the Recon Drone, and then some combination of either 6 gun drones or 6 shield drones or 3 and 3 or some combination. So I wasn't expecting any gunners at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was I saw this list and I immediately was shook because I have a Klaivex and I have an Incubus, and I'm like, if he's able to line up Pathfinder or Railgunner shots onto those guys, they're gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
Because they've got that 3 up and they have the 6 up invuln, but they don't have like or the 6 up feel no pain, but they don't have an invuln or anything. So it's like the AP he brought was really good, because you saw the Zealot, he did the work when he needed to, and that was
Yeah.
right at the end.
Yeah. Here's so we had some some comments from your co-host during the match. The word caveman might have come out once or twice.
Oh yeah,
But
that's to be expected.
so there was first of all turn 1 when you had both your guys here and that crisis was staring you down. What were your thoughts there about hiding rather than making the charge move to begin with? You waited a turn to make that charge move and gave up that objective.
Yeah, no, I gave it up because I'm like, I was literally like talking to him, talking to Baronet about the I almost want to say frag cannon, but like the fragmentation projectors or whatever that
Yeah,
that crisis suit
Airbursters.
has.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell do I do here? Do I charge into literally freaking what is it, like, it's like essentially like a D18 weapon when he fires all 3 of them?
Well, it's 3d6. I mean, they're not auto hitting like flamers, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that like
But
that
that's what you
number of
did.
shots
That's what
scared
you
me
did
off.
turn 2, right?
Yeah, I
Well, he did
did,
it
but
from outside
I was
LOS.
able to do it from outside LOS, but then he pulled the 2 CP tactic. It's called what
Yeah.
is it?
Baited trap.
Yeah, baited trap. So then all of those out, because it can fire Overwatch outside line of sight,
Uh-huh.
but normally it's hitting on 6s with those frag projectors. But when he plays that tactic, he's firing out of line of sight Overwatch shots, hitting on 4s instead of 6s. So I was just like, oh my god. So like, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of the baited trap. I kind of just
Gotcha.
forgotten about that tactic. But yeah, no, it worked out in the end. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to kill it at the end of like turn 2 or turn 3 when turn 2 when I was able to get the first initial charge. But yeah,
Yeah, that was an absolutely
wild.
brutal first combat too, where you had those 8 attacks, and I think what 2 of them made it in, and you needed to wound on 2s, and you rolled 1s, and then I think only like
Yes.
that was a rough one there, and then
Yes.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was actually that was an interaction too where I was surprised where Chris put it off onto the drone when it was only a 1 damage attack and you were slow rolling, and I thought it might have been better to save it for when you potentially got the 3 damage wound attack, but didn't end up
Yeah.
unfolding that way. So he survived that round and was able to fall back and get into the center. And then the other comment was on your not charging the leader here, which I guess was just a mistake, just like
Yeah.
random, or okay, there wasn't
Was that when Shane used the term like bonehead or caveman or something like that?
I
Because
believe
that was
that's
One of the
definitely
times.
I believe
that
that's
was
when caveman was said, at least, yeah, one of the
that was
times.
definitely a caveman move. I was just so focused on trying to lock up the crisis suit on the
Mhm.
objective here
Yeah.
that I just didn't even and it's like I had already charged in with the Incubus into his leader, so I was like, he's probably gonna smoke him anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like, it wasn't the worst mistake to make, but I was definitely like kicking myself when I realized the mistake I had made.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I definitely did not play a perfect game. I will say that.
Well, the Druhkari come through anyway. Anybody else? Any comments? Any questions, Alec, or any of the
Yeah.
players?
Question for Ryan. So you took one rack. What did you think about racks versus Cavalites in this matchup?
I gravitated towards the rack towards specifically the combat Acothyst just because I didn't want to get into a shootout with a Dark Lance against Tau because of the possibility of so many drones being brought in that he'll just be able to save your protocol, like essentially all 4 of the Dark Lance shots that I'll get over the course of the game, and then it ultimately will just be like wasted value basically. So that's why I decided to run Prophets of Flesh instead of Flayed Skull.
And were you happy with the 2 Incubus? Is the trade-off I'm always thinking about as well. Like if I get the Mandrake, they're maybe not as survivable. They can shoot and fight. The Mandrake, the Incubus is so much better at fighting, but it can't shoot. How did you think about the trade-offs there?
I knew I definitely wanted to bring the Klaivex because the plan was if I got the chance to try to kill the Crisis Suit, try to kill it with the Klaivex because he's up to strength 5 on the charge. And then same thing with the Acothyst. But the other Incubus, I think I would have rather taken just another Mandrake. I think I just threw him in there because I was expecting drones and not that much AP. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll take the 3-up. I'll take the 3-up save over a 5-up invuln if he's going to spam drones. So, and also like the frag projectors, like the 3-up armor save does better against those than the 5-up invuln save of the Mandrakes. So that's why I threw him in there.
For sure. All right. I think we are going to have closing comments here, unless there's anything else anybody wants to say or ask.
Are you not entertained?
That is, I mean, we spent most of
Is
turn
this
1.
not why you are here?
Most of
All
turn
right.
1 we spent talking about your list, and yeah, Alec was really excited about it that you put something different on the board. So,
Yeah, man, I've been trying to do that with Tau. I've been messing with Crisis. I had a 14 Pathfinder list there for a little bit that I almost put in here. That I still think is viable. That I might try at Nova.
I think the Pathfinder list is more viable than the Crisis, but that's just my opinion.
It'll be interesting to see how it does on hold.
Yeah.
Because Tau have, even without the fly, they still have a lot of action economy with like, oh, I get to move 7 inches base, and oh, there's that recon sweep tactic where instead of shooting they get to move. And like neuro, dude, I got to use like this is what's cool is I've been getting to use like tactics and stuff I never have, like that NeuroWeb system jammer.
Yeah.
I got to use that in this game. I've never got to use that before, and it worked, dude.
Yeah.
I told
that
him
3 that would have been a hit. Yeah.
I said that too. I said that's a tactic that I always look at and never use because it is rare that the weapons that are scariest to me are that close to me. I guess within 12 inches,
Yeah.
or that I have the CP to use for it because I'm using it on my sniper or I'm using it on something like that. So. Yeah, dude, that was we saw that one. I think there was a comment in the Twitch chat about Beer Nerd feverishly looking through his book for new tactics to waste CP on. Yeah, so no, it was a very entertaining game. We had a great time casting it. Thank you guys for putting on a show. We've had some slaughter fests in the first 2 casted games so far, and this third one definitely made up for those. It was a nail biter there for the first few turns.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I thought I had it for a minute, and then it was like it started going bad. It's like, oh crap, and it just kept going bad. Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to charge me on this when I was on these objectives. Yeah, and I was like, dude, can I roll enough injury rolls on these 3-up guys? Like that was the thing is I looked at this when I saw what he actually had. I was like, I do not have enough AP. I expected Cabalites. I actually expected him to trade shots because I thought that he would expect the Crisis because I've been running it. And a Dark Lance can just one-shot a Crisis,
Yeah.
And I can't take that many drones and also go positional and this and that, which is a probably mistake that was in this game, is going for dual kill. So there was a lot of like, oh, this is what's probably the right thing to do. Do the opposite. Like so, instead of doing the 2 positional 1 kill, I went with the 1 positional 2 kill on here. Because like if I wasn't killing, that was it. Like I said, I had to make moves turn 1. I had to get kills turn 1, and he hid, and that really, really took some stuff away, because then he was like re-rolling charges and the train was going. So
Yeah. So
what can you do?
So our winner here, Ryan Command Point, you get rewarded with a round 2 matchup with Micromancer. How you feeling about that?
Oh, I can't wait.
All right.
I cannot wait.
Well, it is your channel, and this will get posted on your YouTube, I assume. So why don't you sign us off if you're Ryan?
Oh, geez. Okay, yeah. This was a great game against Beernid. You know, I did not play a perfect game, but I think I played it I think I played it pretty well, obviously.
Mhm.
I just wanted to say that, like, I think the crisis suit choice that Beernid went with was viable. It's just he rolled so many 2s on the D6, on those D6 weapons, and it's just like normally it should be like D18 or whatever, and it's just D6. When
Yeah.
something happens like that, it's just like, man, what can you do? But yeah,
Yeah.
it was a great game. Thanks to everybody who was watching on stream, and thanks to everybody who's probably now watching this on YouTube. Thanks
Woo.
again, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Yeah. Oh, and one last special thanks to Alec for jumping in and casting it with me.
Yeah,
This
for
was so much
sure.
fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Alec.
All right. Good night.